Hello everyone, and welcome to Nat One. We are here in Thither. Everyone had just met a very strange planeswalker called Rumpus Cutie Pie, who had basically played a little gambling game with them and swapped some trinkets about. Well, Archie ended up winning all of the trinkets, which was nice. But some of them had some adverse effects. Before that, basically, Clapperclaw and Flopsy were just having a bit of a time of it because Holland was asleep and Archie had jumped up a tree to scout the area for anything whilst they set up a camp. A big snake came, and Archie disposed of it rather swiftly. And then after that, Clapperclaw Holland went to sleep. Archie Flopsy had a long conversation. Then the Planeswalker came along, swapped him some stuff, and they've all got a bunch of crap. And that bunch of crap was butterfly glasses, where you can cast message, but we don't know that. Oh yeah, that's it. When the item is 5 feet away from the first person to touch it, they are deafened. The thimble, which means that the positive effect was empowered. Negative was you smell super bad, like off milk. The glass slipper, you can't be charmed or frightened, and negative is you can't smell, like you can't actually use your smell sensors. And the tiny bottle of rainwater, which is currently residing inside Clapperclaw's body, is you can cast Revivify, with a little caveat of the fact that you might be able to not cast it again until a long rest. And then the negative side of that is when it's on your person, if you touch any plant at all, it dies. So obviously Clapperclaw is now a backpack on the back of Holland, so that he doesn't touch the ground, therefore doesn't kill the grass. And you were all sort of figuring out who's having what last time. So, have at it.
Well, I'll keep these glasses, otherwise I'll probably go deaf, and I don't want that to happen, obviously. But who wants this thimble and who wants this glass slipper?
Well, whoever takes the thimble should take the slipper at the same time, and leave a wide berth between us.
So who wants this thimble and this slipper at the same time and leave a wide berth between us?
Flopsy just kind of shoots side eyes towards Holland and then Archie and then Holland and then Archie, because he doesn't want to volunteer.
Holland hitches up Clapperclaw to get a better hold on him. I kind of don't want a wide berth from any of you guys. Do we have to take it with us?
No, I don't think so.
Well, I did get a bit caught up when he said no refunds or no returns, but I suppose leaving it on the floor is a bit of a loophole in that.
Or we could throw it in the campfire.
I suppose we could do that, but it wouldn't exactly do anything to a thimble, would it?
I don't really know. It's a magic thimble, so, who can say for sure?
I mean, I suppose we are quite near Nib's cave. We didn't move too far from it, so if anyone was coming here in search of any magical items, they could stumble upon this. It could go to somebody who wants it a bit more.
Well, I understand the sentiment, but I don't, odds on people actually coming here. Maybe we could just hide it under a leaf.
Well, it beats any of us smelling bad, so yes, I reckon you're probably good at hiding things.
I don't mind smelling like sour milk. I quite like milk, but I don't know if it'd be very helpful for Holland. Considering I'm right here, and he like pats your shoulder.
Yeah, I don't think that would be very, very nice for me, and also for the other two, because I'm not going to walk far away from them.
And also, Clapperclaw, you don't even use magic, I don't think. So, like, I mean, you'd just be having it so you could smell like sour milk.
Yeah, probably. I don't use magic, no. I just hit things with my claws, and that's about it.
You clap things with your claws.
Yeah.
It'd ruin your appetite, that's for sure.
I don't think anything could ruin my appetite.
Well, I think that... Yeah, I think I'm just going to put it here. She puts it on the floor and, like, covers it with a leaf.
Alright, okay. So the thimble is gone.
And who wants this glass slipper? I can't remember what good thing it does, but I know that it makes you not smell things.
You can't be charmed or frightened.
Oh, wait, I just remembered. You can't be charmed or frightened.
I'll take it.
That's what I was going to suggest, yes. I know the trade-off is quite bad, but Holland, some strange things have been happening to make you scared, so I'd like you to have it.
I can always, just put it in the bag, and, if things look a bit spooky, I can just pull it out.
That's a good point. Well, here you go. A glass slipper. You can be the belle of the ball. And I hand it over to Holland, who can no longer smell.
Alright. So, obviously you've all had that lovely little long rest as you I've had this little camp. The fire's embers have sort of gone out, and all of a sudden this sort of like thick black stream of smoke just like plumes out as the final ember burns away, like out of the campfire, and dissipates in the air. And yeah, it's quite a humid temperature again. There doesn't seem to be any breeze at all. So there's no rustling in the trees. It's all very still and strange and almost like eerily still. As if there's a bit of tension in the air somehow.
It's eerily still. It's like there's a bit of tension in the air somehow.
Then we should make it less still.
What, and get moving?
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
I don't know where we're moving to next, but Archie, you brought us to Nib's Cave. Do you have any idea of where we should go now?
I think we should head to Little Oak. I need to make sure Will's alright.
That's a good idea. I don't know the way, so I'll follow you.
It's just this way, and Archie walks the way that she knows.
Okay. So you're travelling along. Clapperclaw bouncing happily on the back of Holland, pointing things out randomly as he's like right next to his face, so he's got all of his attention at all times. And as you're walking along, you sort of find a nice little trail, kind of like a muddy sort of footpath that's very well worn through some of the trees that go winding around. And at one point it opens out so that the trees aren't so close together. And you notice that it's opened out because it feels like something's passed through here. Something big, like when a bus travels through trees and you can see that it's shaped the way that a bus is shaped. But the curvature is like very concaved curvature in the tree branches and the leaves themselves. It's like something's barreled through here. Very, very tall, very, very big, very, very wide and round. And Clapperclaw points at the ground in front, and he's like, "Whoa! Check out the size of those!" And you see a trail of monstrous claw prints on the forest floor. It's whatever's left this was clearly enormous, as each print spans about 3 feet from heel to toe.
Jeez Louise. Archie would like to sort of just give him a quick sort of examination, see if she's seen anything of the sort, or heard of anything of the sort.
Throw us a nature check. They look like pretty big feet. Could have been out.
I've never seen anything like this, I think.
Holland's gonna untie the clown shoes from around his waist and just sort of, like put them in the, just for reference, just to see if they check out.
Yeah.
Just gonna line it up.
For reference, you place the wooden-soled foot, the clown shoe of Thwacko. You place it in there and it's dwarfed in comparison to this. Even though his clown shoes are very large indeed. Yeah, there's another like foot, about 2.5 foot ahead of it.
Well, it wasn't him.
I fear that whatever left that might be a little bit scarier than Thwacko, Holland.
Mr. Witch.
Well, maybe it's not nasty. You don't know. It could be like a friendly thing. Although Archie like readies an arrow. As she like, yeah.
Flopsy's just going to try and listen to see if there's any like extra rustling coming from further away. If this is a well-worn path with these big feet, he's just going to want to listen to see if anything's like coming through.
Roll me a perception. I don't know what you're doing, Peach, but I can hear it.
You can't.
Nat 20.
Nat 20. Right, okay. Nat 20. You motion to everyone to be still and silent. And Clapperclaw goes, "Why? What are you... Oh!" And then he covers his mouth. And you prick your ear up. And it moves like a periscope in a fucking submarine. Woo, woo, woo. This way and that. And you hear, because the breeze is non-existent, and because there's no rustling, you hear very sharply the sound of birds and strange creatures. You cut through all that, and in the far off distance, you hear what sounds like some sort of like melodic humming, very far away. And you think it sounds like some sort of lullaby-esque song, coming from the direction that you're about to walk anyway. But no sounds that could be related to this possible size of this creature, which would emit something very deep and resonant.
Well, guys, nothing sounds too menacing right now, so I don't think you need to prepare as much just yet, Archie. But I do hear somebody singing a little tune further down there. It sounds quite sweet, actually. I think we don't need to prepare for a fight. I think this should be quite pleasant, actually. Flopsy's gonna like confidently walk forward because he's not scared by a lullaby.
Mm-hmm. As you walk forward along the tracks, you notice that the tracks sort of end suddenly, and you can see that the final tracks before they've ended, the final tracks are unusually deep.
How unusually deep?
Make a survival check.
Oh. Nat One, 5.
So deep that when you fall in them, you die.
You just notice that they are deeper than the rest.
These are a little deeper. And Flopsy just carries on walking because he doesn't care.
Do you
Must
think
have,
it's like
Yeah?
do you think it's like when you're like like when you're jumping really far? Like I dig my feet in a bit to the ground before I go like whee, and then he does a bunny hop with with Glapperclaw.
Holland, I won't let you roll for that because that's exactly correct. So that's just your own intelligence coming through there. You notice, you bend down, you literally see Clapperclaw nail slips off your back as you do, and he like holds on tight to your neck. And you make this assumption. It's clearly that it's sort of bounced off the ground. It seems as though that this sort of creature can launch itself into the air, suggesting that it can fly.
That's quite astute of you, Holland. You know a lot about animals.
Oh. Well, I was just looking at my feet, but I guess so. I don't know any animals with like this size with like wings and stuff though.
I think I might have heard of one or two.
Roll a history check.
I thought she was going to say, I think it might be a dragon. I don't want to roll a history check. I want to be wrong or right in my assumption.
Okay. Well, if you roll a history check, you might get a bit more.
Ooh, it's a heartless,
You can still
snowy
keep your
white dragon.
you can still keep your assumption. But
Yeah, whatever. I'll roll that history. And that plus 0, 17.
Nice. You recall a sort of campfire tale of a dragon called the Jabberwock. And let's have a look here. Doop.
Not the Jabberwock.
A Jabberwock. And in this harrowing tale, you recall that it can actually shoot beams out of its eyes, to like energy beams, like sort of thing. Will of the Farewells probably told you this long tale about it. And the main thing that you remember is this like zooming eye beam that's the most like sort of terrifying part of the story that stuck with you.
It's like, I think it's probably not just any dragon, though. I think it's a Jabberwock. It's like a dragon, but it's got these weird eyes, like laser shooting eyes.
Laser eyes?
Yeah.
That's so cool. I want laser eyes.
Well, it's only cool until it starts looking at you.
Can it not switch it off?
I don't know. Will never really answers these sort of questions.
You know that during his harrowing tale, you don't know how much he's hammed this up, but apparently only a few people, a few handful of lucky people who has ever come in contact with it have survived.
Only a few people who have seen it have survived, is what I hear. I mean, with eyes like those, they've got to be real good hunter's eyes, like even better than mine. I think, like, if it was flying 500,000 feet above the air, and we were hid under a tree, and you could only see us through a tiny little gap because there's a leaf missing or something, I think the Jabberwock would see us.
Huh. I thought it would be a bit, a bit, like, bright for him to see very well, like, with his laser eyes.
Well, I'm not sure. Maybe it's
You know, when you look,
a
like,
laser.
directly into the sun.
But I think maybe that's the thing. Maybe people don't look directly into the sun. Maybe it's looking down with its laser eyes, and you just think, "Oh, that's the sun there," and you don't really.
Holland looks at the sun.
No, Holland, don't look at it. Archie covers his eyes.
I just want to see if he's up there.
No, if you want to look, you need to look, like, out of the corner of your eye. Use your peripheral vision.
I suppose by what you're saying, though, even if we look through our peripheral vision, if we see him, he's already seen us. So however we see him, it's already too late.
Well, you know, few people have survived. I mean, Holland's kind of probably safe. He's a kid. But just make sure you don't have any more birthdays, Holland.
I'll try.
As you're walking further along, the melodic tune starts to make its way through to everyone else's ears as well. And it is more of a song with actual words to it rather than a hum, as it was quite far away. You've walked for a little bit of a while, and you can hear it like this. Va salen qualani neave mahoneshva salhi yedva yethshe. You recognise this voice, Archie?
Archie's eyes begin to tear up at the music.
Oh.
You put everyone at the bottom, if you can.
Oh, I've got a little campestre.
Again, you hear the same song. Through a sort of row of bushes, seem to be protecting this familiar oak tree. Familiar to you, Archie. And cutting through the song itself, as you sort of get closer, you notice that there is a little campestre right here, which seems to be basting itself in butter as it murmurs to itself, Isolde, Isolde, Isolde. And it's dancing around, Isolde, Isolde, dips its head in some butter. It shakes, lets the butter drip down all of its sort of cap down over its body and mouth, blows a little bubble like blop, Isolde, Isolde, Isolde. And you can see that there's sort of like a little pot bubbling on this fire. This fire kept far away from the tree. This fire and cooking pot and utensils that you, Archie, you know, belong to this person who sits facing the tree in a meditative sort of cross-legged pose with a straight back, looking up through its branches as she sings. Do you know Elven?
No, but I know Sylvan.
Oh shit, no, I meant Sylvan, excuse me, everyone knows fucking Sylvan. Which translates to, you are my soul. What is it? You are my soul, and I will... sorry, no hurt will come to you. I will hold you forever. and you see her sort of back stiffen a little. And she turns her head around, a head adorned with many flowers, her ears sort of long and a skin bark-like. As she turns to face you, her eyes glowing with sort of the colours of elements and nature. Her clothes sort of move in a sort of crickety, bark-like way, as though she's made of bark for now. She looks at you. Artemis?
Archie. No, Vanellope.
She stands down, walks towards you. With a flick of her wrist, she moves these shrubs aside. They, like, pick themselves up as though picking up skirts, and little tiny legs of roots just, like, scurry away. And stand by at the sides. She gracefully walks forwards, with a hard look on her face, says to you, I thought I told you needed space.
Well, I had it.
And
I'm just passing through anyway.
She sort of glances over to the little campestry in the let's sort of like getting ready to wiggle its little butt and jump into this pot. And then she looks over at you. She has a bit of a strange look on her face as a man approaches. Whoa, that's massive. As a man approaches, human, with a dazed look on his face. He's carrying like armfuls and armfuls of like nuts and berries and in a basket. And he looks utterly in bliss. He walks over and he says, "Oh, hello there. I'm sorry, I forgive me, I don't know my manners." And he comes over and he like pops down the basket next to the campestre. And he says, "Oh, it'll be time for putting this little man in here." And he sort of shakes his hands and he extends his hands out to you and he's like, "Bertie's the name. Nice to meet you. Are you friends of Vanellope?"
She doesn't say anything.
Flopsy's eyes widen a little bit as he realizes, like, he puts everything together, because this is the first time he's hearing that this is actually Vanellope. I'm afraid I've never personally met her before myself, but what's a stranger but a friend you haven't met yet? So yes, we could be friends with Vanellope. The name's Flopsy Lapousse. I'm gonna shake his hand.
He shakes yours and he says, "Why, who wouldn't want to be friends with Vanellope? Isn't she just..." He turns around to her and his face just absolutely melts in this blissful look at her. She stands there, sort of tall, her head back a little, her chin sticking out a little, head tilted, sort of eyeing up the situation, but keeping a very strong, like, half-lidded gaze on Archie's response, or Archie's anything that might give away what she might be thinking, as if looking for any judgment, any movement. And then, go on.
Yeah, Archie, like, as soon as she sort of looks at Vanellope, like, turns her head away, like, sort of looking at the ground. Almost like, you know, just in, yeah, just that's what she does. Read from that what you will.
She comes down to the guy, who's excitedly just shaking all of his hands, and you see that he's in such bliss. And she says, "Go and get the spices, dear." And he's like, "Oh, of course, anything for you, darling." And he walks away.
Spices? What for?
Well, we are about to have lunch, if you haven't noticed. She points over to the campestre, which is excitedly dipping itself in butter again.
I march on over and pick him up.
He, like, slips around in your hands a little as he's covered in butter. It's like wet, melted butter. And he just says, Isolde, Isolde.
Me, 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 me.
Isolde, Isolde.
And she does a little dance. She looks kind of like frustrated while she's doing this dance.
The other campestre in your pocket pops sort of out and goes, me, 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 me. And then the other campestre goes, Isolde, Isolde. They both start to sing, me, Isolde, me, Isolde, together in harmony.
You can't eat this, Vanellope.
And why not?
Because he's just a little guy.
And what is it going to make you cry again?
Archie scowls and looks at the campestre.
You know that it is part of everything. She just motions to nature in general. What else am I supposed to do? Hunt. She steps forwards towards you and, ignoring Flopsy and Holland absolutely completely, stands tall over Archie. Some of us don't have the pleasure of roaming free.
Well, you actually can't find any sort of rebuke.
I suppose you haven't found it then.
What? Found what?
Well, I suppose you haven't retrieved it.
Well, I certainly wouldn't find it from you.
I'd never expect you to go looking for it anyway. And she sort of steps away a little bit.
Why?
Why? Oh, come on. She sort of, like, laughs a little bit. And, she says, do you really think it was realistic? Did you honestly think that I'd stay here with you? Forever?
Well, why not?
Well, it's simple, isn't it? It's nature. You're a woman, not a man.
What?
Oh, come on. You're really so far in your own head that you don't listen to a word I say.
What do you mean?
She looks over at the tree. And she looks back at you again. When I die, where do you think my soul will go? Will I allow it to die within this tree?
I don't know.
Well,
Maybe.
I need a daughter. And that's something you can't give me.
What?
I've told you once before as well. You know why we did this. When Scabatha threatened this tree, obviously, it's my main concern. If this tree dies, as do I.
It wasn't very nice, you know, giving all the love in my heart away and then sending me to hither, of all places. Why would I want to be there?
It was a very valuable gift for Scabatha. She has vowed to leave this tree alone, and now I must do what I need to do to protect it.
It was a very valuable gift from me.
Oh, here we go. Go
Well,
on, go on, you go on, cry it out.
Shut up. And Archie does begin to cry, and she takes the campestre and puts it in her bag with the other campestre.
I very much agree. I think you should shut up, just like Archie says. Archie seems to have given you so much, and I don't know if you've seen the same Archie that we've seen over the last few days, but if Archie were to give something all of her love, then that's a bigger gift than anything I could possibly think of.
You're quite right, and Scabatha was very grateful for it.
What, so now you're going to eat her out instead?
I got what I needed.
Yeah.
And would you prefer I die?
No.
Well, it seems that your love went to a grand cause then. For what use is all of your love for me if it's not going to keep me alive? I've got the spices, darling. He comes over with a bushel of spices. He puts his arm around her, and she very, very gracefully lifts her arm up. Her hands are very long, and her fingers extend out with twigs all along. She strokes his back and up along his neck into his hair, sort of rubs her fingers all the way through his hair. He tilts into her like a dog, but she remains staring at you, Archie, as she does this. And he rushes over and he goes, "Oh, excuse me, miss. I don't know what you're doing with that little guy there, but we're about to eat him. So if you don't mind," he puts his hand out.
Oh. I turn to Vanillipe. Oh, excuse me, miss. I don't know what you're doing with that little guy, but I'm about to punch him.
Now don't be jealous, Archie. You know that I'm doing what I need to do.
What you need to do? Oh, get some more wood? Right, you don't have enough already?
You know that when this man wakes, he will not have a clue who I am. And you have the honour of remembering me forever. For I did not charm you, and I never needed to.
I don't even know who you are.
I am this. She looks over at the tree again. Do you expect the tree to move through the waves of your expectations? Through your needs and your wants and your desires? Or do you just look at it and think, there it is?
I don't know.
And what do you need? For me to sing for you again? For me to hold you again? For you to lay your head on my knee?
Archie looks to the ground.
He says, again, I must press you, miss. My darling love would care for this for dinner. Please. He looks a bit, like, scared. Like, he's getting a bit desperate now.
Your darling love. Yeah. Well, maybe eat something that isn't alive.
Well, it is a mere, mushroom.
Listen, bucko. And I grab his, collar. You're a mere mushroom.
She steps forward, in between Flopsy and Holland. She puts a hand on your shoulder. She pulls you away. Now. Let's not get too volatile. You're so emotional, aren't you? She smiles. I like that about you. I liked that very much. She drags you away from him.
She doesn't even resist.
Anyway, she looks awkwardly at Holland and Flopsy. Haven't you, well, moved on, considering it seems to be that you have found new company?
I don't even know what you're suggesting.
Well, aren't these your friends?
Yeah.
Well then, it seems you have. For weren't we friends?
Weren't we more?
I'll see it as you like. What? Because we kissed? You thought that was binding? Oh. Oh, because I held you. You thought that was binding. Oh, I do apologise, Archie. I'm not accustomed fully to the whims of humans. Don't worry. Nature will change your course.
I don't even know. I'm not even going to dignify that with a response. Vanilla tea.
Well, then I shall not. And, she's just gonna turn, put her back to you, continue over to this tree, and stand and look at it for a bit. And the guy's like, I just need to, and he's gonna...
Him.
Oh! He's like, and Vanellope snaps round, and she has her arm outstretched towards him as though to concentrate very hard on something. Her eyes sort of glow green and flicker with this sort of, like, strange, pollen-esque particles that sort of, like, flow out like magic sort of dust. And they, like, siphon onto him as though she's, like, holding this thread. Her face gets nasty all of a sudden as she's doing it, and he sort of, like, stiffens up as though being electrocuted, and then he, like, flops and lowers his shoulders down, and you see he's got this huge welt, this huge, like, busted lip. He sort of licks it and doesn't really know why it's there, and he goes, "Oh, hello there, sorry, I don't know what happened, hello there, and he's like, oh, you're a friend of Vanellope's?
Something like that.
Oh, sorry. I see that you have the campestry in your hand. I just was, yeah. I was just about to cook that. You can't take it. It belongs to Vanellope.
You can't own a living thing. And then Archie turns to Vanellope. You can't own a living thing.
It's not it's not a case of ownership, Archie. It's just food.
It's just possession, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I have no time for this. Allow us to eat in peace. Wow, what's going on?
Like a full conversation.
I know, right? Literally. It's, yeah. Hang on, just mute. Meanwhile, Flopsy and Holland, are you having a little sly conversation with them?
We can be if Holland wants, but I was
listening
intently to that.
Yeah.
Around that time, Flopsy would probably cut in unless Archie.
No, let
directly.
Flopsy cut in, please, because we need to.
Okay. What was Vanellope's last line? She doesn't have time for this.
She doesn't have time for this, no.
Speaking of not having any time, I don't have any time to listen any further to any of this. Archie is one of the strongest and nicest people I've met. And quite frankly, if you are that tree, then I think your brain must have wood rot or something, because to speak to her like this is utterly disgusting. I think we're just going to take the campestry and leave.
As soon as you say wood rot, she looks at you as if you've literally just, like, threatened to burn the tree down. She literally stares right at you, and this sort of guttural voice comes out of her, and she's like, "How dare you? How dare you suggest such a thing?
How dare you speak to Archie like that?
And what of it?"
And what of it? Well, Archie's our friend, and quite frankly, I can't imagine trying to toy with her emotions like that.
Emotions?
I think if you had had a history with her, as you say, crying with each other, holding each other, kissing each other...
Crying
it might not mean the same to you, but...
I do not cry. Do you think I cry? Do you know who I am? Do you know what I am?
Well, quite frankly, I merely know your name, but from what I've seen of you over the last 5 minutes, I don't think I want to know who you are. And I don't think Archie should either. Archie is worth more than this. I'm gonna, look directly at Archie when I say that.
And like I said, her love was worth a lot, and still is, as it is protecting my soul, my life, and me, the tree.
Well, quite frankly, I've entrusted Archie to protect over us, and her bow has been more than enough to do that. I wouldn't dream of giving away a gift as big as she gave to you in order for protection when I have Archie next to me.
You know what? She shakes her head. You're absolutely right. Forgive me. It seems that even though you have not crossed the threshold into my abode, I am still... I'm still somewhat obliged to be hospitable to you. Archie, why don't you come in?
Archie walks in with the campestry in hand.
The fucking guy just reaches out as if to feebly try and grab hold of it. Make a contest of athletics.
Yep. Athletics.
Be 18. He snatches it out of your hand and he's about to put it in the pot.
Flopsy casts Mage Hand in front of the pot to flat palmedly push the campestry back.
Mm-hmm. You can carry the campestry with Mage Hand.
Can I snatch it out of his hand?
When he drops it into the pot, obviously he's let go of it, so you can literally Mage Hand it into your own hand.
Yeah, so when he drops it, the Mage Hand will just appear underneath it to catch it, and then float it back to me.
as it appears next to you. It goes, Isolde, Isolde, and it happily dances on your paw.
Flopsy's just going to sing along with it and dance as well while carrying it.
Archie, make a wisdom save.
Oh, of course. 23.
As she walks along with you towards the tree, you see that she's sort of side-eyeing you in a very sultry way. She gives you a little smile. As soon as you step over this sort of threshold area, she says, "Oh, excuse me, Archie. I've been also very terrible to you, haven't I?"
Yeah, we have, actually.
And whatever can I do for you to forgive me? I will simply do anything.
You can start by apologizing.
Oh, I am so sorry. I am so deeply, deeply sorry. Would you care for me to hold you once more?
Archie just like looks sort of furtively at like the guys, if I know what furtively means. And she just sort of like looks to the floor, and then she just nods.
You two see as Vanellope takes Archie sort of like by the waist and leads her towards the tree. You see Archie falling for this as she like lowers her head down and submits to Vanellope.
I feel like we should get Archie as far away from here as possible. I say that to Holland.
I agree. I don't like this one bit.
I think the longer she stays here, the more likely it is that she'll get taken under, like this poor fellow over here. What's this guy doing, by the way, after dumping the campestry and it not cooking?
He's like looking around as to where it's gone, panicking a little bit, and then he's just sort of getting the nuts and berries, and he's like seasoning the water and things like that to sort of like prepare it anyway, because he needs to be doing something to, you know, create this dinner for Vanellope. He's looking like a whipped guy, you know, like he's whipped as fuck.
Hi, excuse me.
Oh, hello.
Could you like hold this for me? And Holland's gonna try and hand him the glass slipper and see if it does anything.
Okay. As soon as you place this glass slipper into his hand, he sort of, this haze over his eyes starts to settle, and he looks at you, and he looks very just confused, and he looks around and at everybody, and he says, "Where am I? Is this a dream?"
Well, you're somewhere in Thither, and no, well, I don't think it is.
Thither? That's nowhere I've ever heard before. This must be a dream. That's right, I'm dreaming. Pinch me.
Where are you from?
Oh, I'm from Neverwinter. I must have... I'm not sure, I've fallen asleep, I know it.
Oh dear. My friend, tell me first, what's your name?
Bertie.
Bertie.
Yes, nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you too. My name is Flopsy. Have you ever heard of tales, probably just stories that don't mean anything, of the Feywild?
The Feywild? That's well, in storybooks, sure, of course, but I mean, that's not real, is it?
Flopsy side eyes Holland.
Well, it might be a little bit.
Um, no, stop. He he's like looking around really scared. He's like, you can see he's glancing through the trees of like a possible escape route, and all he's seeing as he looks down those lengths of like, you know, pathways between the trees and just the not even pathways, just like grass through the trees. Everything's like sort of moves in a hazy way as though it's sort of like wibbly wobbly atmosphere around this tree area. It's almost like it's intoxicating. The environment itself is, and he gets a bit dizzy and he holds his head. And the Feywild, come on now, that's ridiculous. I can't be the Feywild. That's like children's stories. I fell asleep. That's it. I fell asleep. Mm-hmm.
Well, I must say I've visited where you're from before. Maybe not the exact town, but many people like you were quite surprised to see people like me in Holland. He's gonna like shake the guy's hand again, like reach out for it, grab it, and shake it. You can feel that I'm real. Do we look like dreams?
He squeezes your hand. No, I suppose not. Maybe if I touch this fire, and he lifts his finger towards the fire and like puts it.
Flopsy is not going to let go of his hand from shaking it, and he's just going to pull him away from the fire.
Yeah,
I wouldn't advise that.
But how else am I supposed to know unless I felt some sort of pain?
Well, most people try a pinch, don't they, rather than shoving their hand directly into fire.
Oh, well, then pinch me or slap me on the face or something, and then he touches his face and he finds the welt on his lip, and he goes, "Oh goodness gracious, what's happened to me?" When he touches it, it hurts him, and he goes, oh, "This isn't a dream. I'm injured. For God's sake, help me! I'm injured."
It's okay. Just 2 seconds. First off, I will cast Cure Wounds at first level on the dude to fix his face. He get 8 things of healing. I mean, he's got commoner stats. He's feeling better than ever.
Mm-hmm. He literally looks like he's had a fresh wash. He's used some fucking face scrub. It's like skin's as clean as anything. It's everything, like even just like spots and shit just clear up completely. This guy as well, when he sort of like gets all fresh and anew, you see he's like fairly young. You can tell he's like some sort of noble's son or something like that. He's been sheltered from the world. He's a bit of a doofus, you know, like a very easy target. For someone like Vanellope to prey upon. Thank you. Thank you. That's I know it takes a little bit of energy to do that, and that's very nice. Do you have powers that might send me home? I'd love to leave this place.
Unfortunately, I don't have powers to send you home directly, but we are trying to get home ourselves, the long way round, I guess. We can maybe try and find a way to get you home too. We can at least get you away from this old dastardly place. Looking around at the direct vicinity of Vanellope's tree, not necessarily talking about the Feywild there. If you stick with us, we can get you away from her, and I'm going to give the stink eye to Vanellope.
Yeah, I think we should like all leave as soon as possible. Archie,
Meanwhile,
he's gonna start like ambling after.
Yeah, as you're approaching, you can see that that Vanellope sort of sat side saddle upon this sort of this tree, and Archie is sort of laying a little on her shoulder as sort of Vanellope strokes Archie's shoulder, and you can hear her singing into her ear. Os Artemis vatersta sa hiede va And it translates from Sylvan to, "Oh, sweet Artemis, you cry, and I will hold you."
And Archie is, of course, crying, as it is beautiful music.
As you've crossed the threshold, she looks over and she says, "Ah, beautiful beings, here you are in my home."
Oh, I didn't realize this was like in your like house. I'm just here for Archie. We gotta, a deadline. We gotta get going.
She sort of sits up a little, lifts her shoulder so that your head gets removed from it. "It seems you're needed."
Archie just sort of looks at Vanellope, looks at Holland, and just sort of like... She looks very like, what? As if she's just been pulled out of a dream or something.
Holland offers out his hand. We need to go, like, now?
What, like right now?
Like, right this second now.
Archie stands up and then looks at Vanellope.
Well, it's better to be needed, isn't it, Artemis?
Better to be wanted. And then she just sort of walks with Holland, not taking her eyes off Vanellope.
She just sort of seductively leans against the tree, lifts a right arm, and gives you a farewell goodbye with a hand, which leaves growing off of it sort of wisp as she does so. And as you come back down here, this guy is literally shitting himself. He's like, and then he looks at Clapperclaw and he's like, "Ah, what is that? Jeez, help me please, someone, I need to get out of here." And Clapperclaw's like, "Hey, listen, it's okay, you don't have to worry about me, I'm just a little child. I mean, I shouldn't have said that. I mean, I'm just a mere little scarecrow boy."
Clapperclaw is one of our friends. He's incredibly sweet. You don't need to worry.
If you have something to say about it, say it to me, Archie says, and she's just gonna like approach him and then like poke him in the chest with her finger. Probably pushing him back a bit.
Whoa. Archie, he's like awake now.
What?
Yeah, sorry, if I offended you in some way. Hello?
Well, that's just not how you talk to kids.
Oh, I do apologise. I'm not quite sure where I am, you see. The last thing I remember was, I was having a wonderful dream about this absolutely beautiful woman. He's not actually looked towards Vanellope yet because he's just been looking around this region, this area. But I was having this dream about this beautiful woman, seemed to be made of some sort of tree. And we were... well, for lack of a better word, for probably the best word that I could use for it, is we were making love. And, and suddenly I woke up here. Maybe that's too much information, but that's the last thing I remember.
Yeah, maybe it is too much information.
Yeah, that was a little weird, but you know what? We gotta get going. So why don't we walk and talk, and you can talk about your strange dreams.
Maybe shut up about your strange dreams.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Maybe that was a bit too much information. Clapperclaw's like, Dad, what does making love mean? Is that like an activity that you can like do together with somebody, like crafts?
Yes, it's a little bit like crafts, Clapperclaw.
Oh, what do you make? Like when you say that, is it like an invisible thing?
Well,
or is it like a drawing of a love heart?
Yes, it could be something like that. Sometimes you don't make anything, but other times you can make a drawing of a love heart. But I'm sure one day you will figure it out. Usually it just... Whatever gets created is unique to that situation.
Archie, you do recall stories about dryads that you've learned along the time that, obviously to have a daughter, a dryad daughter, dryads must mate with a male other than a satyr.
What's wrong with satyrs?
If a satyr mates with a dryad, the product of that could either be a female dryad or a male satyr, in which case the male satyr has to go off to the satyr's band and not stay with the tree. Essentially, to keep the sort of lineage of this tree's soul alive, keep someone connected to the tree, there must be a sort of constant flow of that. So obviously she didn't want to take any chances and chose the most basic human bitch she could imagine. Yeah, so from that you can gather she's used him for what she needs, and she has it.
Archie just sort of frowns a little bit as she considers that. And she puts her hand on his shoulder and says, "Listen, Bart, or whatever your name was."
Bertie.
Yeah, whatever. Don't look back. Never, ever look back. And then she just walks off in any direction.
Okay. He's like, well, I guess I'm coming with you guys then.
If he was expecting a response, Flopsy'd be like, yes, follow us, come on.
Alright. And you walk away through the trees. Archie, do you look back?
Yeah, of course I do.
You look back, and you see her back, as she is sat, with her legs crossed, facing the tree, in a meditative position, and the shrubs walk their way back and obscure your view of her, as she is now concealed behind leaves and branches as you walk away through the forest.
And Archie just mumbles to herself, "I could stare at your back all day." Like the Mitski song.
Wow. Perfect.
Oh, wow. And she picks up this little campestre and just puts him with the other little campestre.
Isolde, Isolde, Isolde. Me, 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 me.
And they continue to conversate in your pocket.
So you've got Mimi and Izzy.
Oh, if you want to know what he's saying, it's Isolde, which is spelled like this.
Is Isolde Sylvan?
Let's have a look. Okay, you.
Sorry for that annoying question.
No. Roll me a. It's not annoying at all. Roll me a history check.
10.
You don't know the origins of this word.
Okay.
Okay. If anyone else would like to sort of ponder that, then that's fine. But yeah. So you have
Me, 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 me.
and
Isolde, Isolde.
I wonder if this will ever be important.
and you wander through the trees. Obviously, I don't have a map for wandering through the trees, but as you wander, the guy's sort of like looking around at everything, and every single rustle in the bushes, every single strange like creature noise, every single thing that like cracks off in these bushes, he's shitting himself the whole time. He's like grabbing on to like Flopsy for support because he sees you as this big comfortable teddy man. And,
Well, given that Archie's just had an emotional moment and
Yeah.
this guy's shitting his pants, as we're going through, can I be playing the pan flute just to try and play like a soothing kind of song?
Absolutely. Roll me a performance with advantage because it's sentimental.
29.
Archie begins to cry.
I didn't want Archie to cry, but I hope it's good tears.
It's beautiful music.
Nice.
So Holland and Archie are up front with Clapperclaw on Holland's back. Flopsy, you're sort of trailing at the back a little with this guy, and he's getting calmed by your pan flute performance as you just sort of quietly play. Archie and Holland are up front.
So how you doing?
Oh, I'm fine. Thanks for asking.
She
Just
was
Like,
a-
you literally see these bubbles floating out of Archie's eyes as she says that.
literally.
Holland will untuck his scarf and offer it to Archie. Do you want to, for your eyes?
Oh, yeah, sure. Archie takes it, and she just reaches into a bag and hands Flopsy's candle to Holland. And after she sort of wipes her eyes and keeps crying as long as Flopsy's playing, she just wraps the scarf around her neck. It's hers now. Yeah, I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh, good. I wasn't sure because, she wasn't very nice.
She wasn't wrong, though, was she?
I mean, it seemed to me like she was.
You think?
Yeah. I think she was, maybe the dumbest tree I've ever met. And a lot of them don't speak, so,
I don't know. I mean, I don't want her to die. And, I guess my love stopped her from dying. Maybe I shouldn't be mad at her.
Coming from someone who also steals things, you definitely should.
Well, I don't know, she didn't steal it. I did give it to her. It's like that song they sing on Winter Eladrin's Day. Last Winter Eladrin's Day, I gave you my heart. But the very next day, I gave it away to a hag. This
Yeah,
year, to save me from bubbles, I'll go and steal it back.
I mean, I think it was stealing because it's not like you had much of a choice.
You think?
Yeah.
Nah, I did have a choice. I'm not like him. Archie says him and sort of snarls at him.
He's literally just like holding on to Flopsy's arm. Like Flopsy every now and then will like toot wrong because he's like moved his arm out the way. But like not so bad that it's like going to ruin the performance. Obviously, with a 29, he's able to like get it back to normal. But he's literally just looking around.
Compensating because his hand can't move the pan flute to his mouth, so Flopsy has to keep like darting his head rather than moving his hand. So he almost headbutts the guy a few times by like smashing his head to the side to blow the flute.
Clapperclaw's like to Archie.
So, if you're gonna go and steal back your love, Well, first of all, you gotta steal it back of Scabatha, and she's real scary. And
he trails off a bit there, not wanting to continue with that train of thought.
And if you steal it back, then won't she be in trouble?
Archie stops walking and then looks at Clapperclaw, and she's kind of got this shocked expression, like she hadn't really considered it. Oh, well then, even more reason to kill Scabatha, I guess.
You're gonna kill her?
Flopsy wouldn't let it happen.
Because he wasn't awake for that conversation.
Wait, you're gonna try and kill Scabatha? I mean, you know what? Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, sneaking around and not getting caught by her, that's something different. But I mean, you try to kill her. What if she kills you, or worse? What if she?
And he looks at Holland and shudders.
I can't even bear to think about it.
Oh. Well then I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I should just... Maybe I don't need love.
Well, I mean, who's to say you don't already have love? I mean, I think you're pretty lovely.
I think you're alright. I think Flopsy's nice enough, and I think Holland's, a good guy. And I think that Archie, starts crying real sort of bubble tears. You know that these are the real ones, because they're blue instead of green or something. I don't know. But you know that they're... the bubbles change colour. And then she's like, and I think that, Glitterhoof is an alright horse, but no strong feelings or anything.
Well, I mean, why don't you take a look at her and see how you feel then?
He's referring to the key.
Archie whips out the key and looks at Glitterhoof.
You look through the ghost key at the ghostly horse that stands before you, very sage-like in its expression. It's looking at you with what you know to be a level of concern, as whenever you were sad as a child, she would come to you and nuzzle up to you and things, and she attempts to nuzzle you and her nose just goes straight through your arm. And you can see in her eyes that she's caring about you.
So, what do you see?
Glitterhoof? My favorite horse.
Well, I mean, that must count for something, right? And what does it matter anyway if you can't, feel like that? I mean, she loves you, right?
Yeah.
And do you feel that?
She smiles at Clapperclaw, and her tears go back to the regular green of pleasant music. Yeah, I suppose.
And you continue walking through the forests in a northerly direction, but what is north anyway?
It's the direction that Archie's walking, that's for sure.
It's the direction that Archie is walking. And sort of through the trees, you see a winter Eladrin, sort of standing at a post, like as though standing to some sort of attention, but with a very melancholic, like sort of shrug to his shoulders. And I'm going to yeah. I'm just going to place you on a map, but it's the very, very right. There's an Eladrin there called Vint, who is standing there. You coming through these bushes where he is.
Well, we don't know he's called Vint.
No, you don't, but I'm just telling you so that you know where to put your people. So over to the right of this map, you might want to zoom in because it's very, very large. So over to the right there.
It's on the left for me.
Oh, sorry, the left. I literally don't know my lefts and rights.
Right. I was about to say I can't see a Vint anywhere.
Yeah, wow, you know what I mean. It's because I'm gay. I'm gay as fuck. I don't know my lefts and rights. That's a ye olde Tegan and Sarah joke, if anyone knows. But yeah, to the left, the winter Eladrin. To the left, he stands holding what looks like a long sort of like ice spear. And as you approach, he sighs. He looks over to you. Sorry, I'm trying to resize you, Archie. I don't know why it always happens like this, where you get stretched. Yeah. He looks over to you, he sighs, and he says, "What is your business here?"
Where are we?
You have just sort of discovered this winter Eladrin. You're not obviously. I haven't got like the like the foyer of this area as a map. So he's standing amongst the trees. There is a pathway into a deeper area, and you can see by looking over his shoulder, it opens out into quite a large town-esque looking settlement sort of thing. You can see over his shoulder, sort of like the grass-topped roofs of houses with like little roses growing all over the top of them and things like that in the distance. But he seems to be sort of guarding the entrance to this place. You can hear very faintly in the distance the laughter and sort of chattering of children. And he stands there very gracefully, but also very melancholic. His eyes are always half closed, but you can see as his like icy blue eyes flit amongst you all, he's taking in your details very, very meticulously.
I'm taking in his details, just as meticulously.
Mm-hmm. State your business.
I'm a ranger. I do rangery things. I think Flopsy owns a cupcake company, and Holland's just a kid. This guy, I don't even know what his problem is.
And I'm lost. Excuse me, sir. Immediately the winter Eladrin sort of like takes like a face of like a back, like, oh, like, oh, God, who's this guy? It's almost like he's unaffected in a sense, but at the same time, you can tell he can't be arsed already with this guy. He's like, I seem to be lost, and I have fallen asleep, and I'm obviously dreaming, even though I'm not, because I'm in pain, and I'm not in pain anymore, and I just, and he says, the Eladrin says, well, if you are lost, it seems that you have come to the right place. And he sort of stands back a little bit, and you can see that there's a big sort of like wooden sign on the side of this house that's been painted with sort of like mud and clay sort of paints that says Zybilna's home of the lost and orphaned. He looks at you all and says, so if you would like to step this way, I will introduce you. My name is Vint. I would like it very much if you were to leave your weapons behind.
But what if something happens?
I can assure you that nothing is going to happen. I am the only... Well, myself and the other winter and summer Eladrin will be on guard in the around this perimeter. But whatever, happens, we will be on the case straight away. You don't have to worry about that. You are safe in this place.
Okay.
I don't necessarily want to speak for everybody here, but I know the things we carry mean a lot to us. Could we just not equip our weapons in a threatening way? Would that be okay with you, or do we have to leave them behind?
Well, if you were to meet with Aerith, she could show you where you may leave them in a very safe location inside one of the houses. It is almost like a caged thing. I don't know how to say it. You sort of get the impression that he's talking about some sort of like jail cell locked area for dangerous items and contraband and things like that. And I will get somebody to meet with you. Just give me a second. And he puts his finger to his forehead. And then he pulls his finger away from his forehead and he says, Host will be on the way to deal with you. I will stand here and wait for him. Literally seconds later, this autumn Eladrin rocks up, and he's like, Greetings, everyone. I've heard that you are visiting, and you would like to come and meet with Aerith. I've heard that one of you is lost. Is that correct? He's like, yes, I am the lost one, yes. Well, worry no longer, for you are not lost, you are found. And he takes hold of his hand and is like, come along, friends, says Host as he leads you into this town. And Vince sort of stands back, and you see that when he moves to the side, he allows himself to sort of fall back into the trees a little, so not to be seen by anyone. He looks like he's hiding away a little, and Host is allowed to come into this area. Where the fuck's Clapperclaw at? Oh, where the fuck is he? And as you sort of come into this area, you notice there are a few, like, quite a lot of kids around here. And you see 3 kids sitting at this table, all quietly drinking tea. You see a couple of kids over there sort of, like, picking around at the fruit in these baskets. Over on a bridge to the sort of north, you see 2 kids sort of wooden sword fighting. And over by the fountain with the tree in the centre, you see another 2 kids sort of, like, splashing each other and everything. And you see... standing sort of with these kids looking on very sort of lovingly, female autumn Eladrin over here. I will introduce you to Aerith. She is the I don't want to say the boss, because we don't like those words here. We are all equals, of course. And, yes, so she is, I guess she is the sort of manager, I think. Whatever you want to call it. Aerith.
Aerith sort of looks over and says, yes, what is it, Host?
Aerith, we have some new guests today, and we have a lost boy. You see this guy, and he looks a bit old to be a lost child, and he's like, yes, it's me, I'm the lost one.
Real quick, I don't have control of my token.
Yeah, it's because I've dragged it on. Just drag it on yourself, because I don't know why it does this.
God, just do it yourself.
Yeah.
Be laser.
And your name is?
Oh, I'm Bertie. It's a pleasure to meet you. He sort of extends his hand to shake it.
Yes. Instead of shaking his hand, I kind of Aerith grabs his hand and, like, gingerly pulls him into an embrace. And says,
he's, like, really confused about it, but he's gonna take it anyway. Like, okay.
Worry not, my child. You are lost no more.
Oh, thank you. I was just wondering if there was any way for you to get me out of here, but I suppose that if that's not possible right now, I suppose I could just stay here and have a cup of tea, perhaps. And he eyes up the kids that are drinking the tea, and he thinks twice about it because he feels socially awkward too much to go towards them. Oh, he's not there. He's over there. Yeah. And we have some more visitors as well. We have been informed by Vint that they must dispose of their contraband items. We don't like to say weapons around the children. It's
You just said it.
I know it. I am
Holland's a
whispering.
child.
He looks over at Holland and blinks suddenly oh, welcome then. Are you lost? Are you orphaned?
Well, I'm one of those, but no, I'm going somewhere.
I see. Well, I will leave you in the capable hands of Aerith here, and Aerith, will you show them to where they can put away their contraband items? Thank you. And I will resume my tea with Shauna, Surridge, and Milo. He goes over there, very, very flowing as he sits down, and you see that he pays extra attention to Milo, this child here. He seems to have a very distant, faraway look on his face. And Aerith, you are there.
Hello, you three. Might I am Aerith. I kind of overlook this place. Although I tend not to go for big titles like that. I like to treat everybody equally. But do tell me, what is your names?
My name is Flopsy. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm going to reach my paw out to shake. I must say...
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I must say, it's quite a beautiful place that you're overlooking here. What kind of things do you do here? Isn't it a bit... I don't know much of the customs around here, but isn't it a bit dangerous to be having so many children out in the open?
You don't have to worry about that. The entire place is magically protected.
By Zybilna?
Jenna?
You have enchantments set around this place, as well as the winter and summer Eladrins who guard the entire perimeter.
No, it's more of me and all of my co-workers who overlook this place. But I built it in Zybilna's name.
I asked because I saw the sign.
You know, Aerith, distinctly that Zybilna's magic hasn't been working for you recently anyway, so you would just know that it wouldn't be from Zybilna's magic. But, you don't have to relay that, it's just something that you know and you're aware of.
Archie was just double checking.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I didn't catch your name.
Archie?
Would I be able to tell that Archie is visibly upset, or are you... What do I look at when I first lay eyes on Archie?
I mean, to be fair, you could probably see, because I imagine that, even though her tears are bubbles, it still like leaves the little tear lines that you get after you cry, and you can see it sort of like shimmering, like bubble liquid or something. But yeah, that's you can tell, but if you wanted more of a description, you can see that Archie's like a youngish. Well, she is a young woman. She's got like black hair. It's in a ponytail. She's got the sides shaved, and she wears a lot of green.
Ah. Oh, you poor thing. Here. And Aerith walks up to Archie, and attempts to hug her.
Archie like is a bit hesitant for a second, but she like goes for the hug.
You've been through a great deal, and as she says this, she embraces you and kind of strokes like the nape of your neck a little bit.
I suppose.
Well, I
And
just told you
I'm
guys-
Clapperclaw.
That's
Oh,
Clapper.
oh. Oh, hello there, little one.
Hi there. It's a really nice place you got here. Can I go and play, please?
Oh,
Absolutely, little one.
Thank
I
you.
mean, it's for kids.
Well, am I safe enough to say that that's me? I'm a kid, and I can be a kid right here and now.
Yes, I wouldn't understand why you would not feel safe, but yeah, you are completely safe here. And as she says this, she fiddles with a little box that like hangs around a chain on her neck.
All right, wahoo! And he's just gonna.
Clapperclaw, before you go, I'm
Oh.
gonna grab Clapperclaw before. He
Sorry,
goes.
he's my dad.
Well, I was just going to say, you want to have a lot of fun, and you want to make a good impression with the other kids. So, just I'm gonna like pretend I'm making Clapperclaw's clothes look all presentable and whatever, but I'm just gonna take the bottle of rainwater out of Clapperclaw.
Oh yeah,
So he
shit.
doesn't kill
Yeah,
all
fuck.
the plants as he runs to the
Yep,
kids.
yeah, sorry. He would have
so
been
I'm
on
gonna
Holland's
take a hold
back
of
the
that.
whole time, yeah, so.
Yeah, as he jumps down
Yeah,
from
yeah,
Holland to
okay.
go and get
Brilliant.
playing,
Okay.
I'll take that off of him
Alright.
so he can have fun.
Yeah, and as you do, you've obviously under your feet will kill a bit of grass.
Archie pulls Flopsy onto her shoulders.
Thank you, Archie.
Roll an athletics for that.
Oh, you buy gunfire.
With advantage
Can I-
as Flopsy's helping to get up there and stuff, so Flopsy's not going to try and fall off.
No, I'm gonna try.
Well,
Yeah.
never know.
You know, yeah.
Seven.
With this,
Seven. He's a
it's
heavy bunny.
with advantage, so you get the 16.
Oh.
So yeah, you lift Flopsy up onto your back. This is unusual, but considering this is a playful area, you just think that they're playful people, Aerith. And yeah, Clapperclaw's like, come on, Holland, let's go and splash around in that pool.
Holland, is that your name?
Oh yeah, hi, that's me. I'm not like that much of a child, but like I guess I am like I was the youngest until this guy. I'm still gonna go play though.
Yeah, and he's my big brother as well. We worked it out. Can we
I
go
see.
play?
Yes, go.
All right, come on.
Enjoy yourselves.
So straight away, Holland, I'm going to lead you to. Clapperclaw just like runs around. He like looks up at these two boys that are on this sort of wooden bridge high up. They like sort of clattering with these two wooden swords as they like trying to get the best of each other, going up and down this bridge. And you see one of them's like, "Ha! I got you right there, right in your chest. And the other one's like, no, you didn't. Come on, I did my shield. And it's like, what are you talking about? You don't have a shield. You're not magic. And he's like, not yet. And then they keep like, doosh, doosh, doosh. Clapperclaw's like, shall we play sword fightings, Holland?
Only if you're prepared to lose big time.
Guys! They sort of like stop what they're doing and look down, and this kid here sort of like looks down, his floppy white hair sort of falls over his eyes and he moves it. And he's like, oh, hi! Hi, little guy? He sort of like looks a bit confused at his weird appearance. And he's like, what's up? Clapperclaw's like, can we play sword fightings, please? Do you have more of those? And this kid's like, yeah, I'll, you know, you could use these if you want. I mean, we kind of need a break. And this other kid's like, yeah, we don't mind. We'll just go down here. And they sort of like drop the swords down off the bridge onto the grass. And then they're actually gonna sort of like pretend to walk down, get to this part in the darkened area of sort of shrubbery, and then they're actually gonna perch on the handrail to watch secretly. You see them sort of whispering to each other and smiling, but they've got bright faces. They don't seem to be like making any judgments. Clapperclaw like runs over and picks them both up and puts them to you, and he's like, on your guard, whatever they say. He passes the sword to you.
I believe it's ready, steady, go.
Alright, ready, steady, and go!
And he's gonna try and like feint as you come towards him, and he's gonna try and hit you with a sword. Give us D20 plus 4.
Mm. 17.
Oh. Where the fuck is Clapperclaw? Oh, that's why. There he is. 17. How do you want to best him?
He like feigns backwards, but it turns out the whole time Holland was feigning forwards, and he rolls over on his right shoulder and goes, hee hee, and then just slaps him on the head lightly.
You got me, I'll get you next time.
But meanwhile, whilst you two are playing, the guy's sort of like, so I guess I'll just have a cup of tea or something. And he walks over really gingerly and sort of hovers around because there's no more chairs. You just hear Host with his very graceful sort of, hello there, friend. Gives him a cup to drink from. You remember that
isn't. Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, you remember that you're supposed to dispose of your weapons.
Mm-hmm. Bertie's not from anywhere around here. He may be a bit of a handful. I'm sorry for that.
Oh, trust me, I don't think he can be any more trouble than Novak and Kellen up there.
Just make sure you don't ask him about his dreams.
Yes, he does tend to give a bit too much information on those.
I see. Okay. Yes, I would... if you would follow me, we can find a safe place to store your weapons. We tend not to have those kinds of things. In fact, the only ones who are equipped are myself and the other Eladrin.
I feel quite safe with that. Don't know about you, Archie.
Well, I mean, I don't like to leave my bow behind, but you know, if I have to, I'm gonna follow the rules.
Thank you very much. You have my word. Your stuff is safe.
Can we house other things there as well as our weapons?
I certainly, if you like, you and your 2 children can rest for the night. Not right away, of course, but
Out of character, I don't know how long it is since we last rested.
Yeah,
'cause I
it's
don't know how long
literally
the
like
Vanellope thing-
it's literally like the morning. Like the Vanellope thing was about an hour. So yeah, it's fresh. It's a fresh day.
Right.
Oh,
Well, I
by the
suppose if
way,
we're here long enough.
we're not married or anything like that.
oh no! I would never assume anything like that.
Yeah, I'm just saying. They're not my kids.
They're not my kids either. I'm not actually a dad. We're all just very good friends. I'm gonna pat Archie on the head as I'm on your shoulders.
Aerith
She
laughs
bobs
a-
down as if you press some sort of button.
Aerith laughs a little bit, and she says, "Right. If you would follow me, I will show you where you can store your belongings." In here.
And as you walk in, you see that this is quite a large storehouse. It does have a sort of little burning sort of fire in there, as each of these little sort of cottages do, to keep warmth, just to keep everything warm at all times, just so that you never feel like you're ever in a cold place. Everything's very comfortable and cozy. And even this, like, it looks like a little sort of like hobbit living room, even though it's a storehouse. And along the back wall, there is a sort of gated, like, wrought iron fence that looks somewhat like a sort of jail cell. Behind it, you can see all sorts of, like, bits and bats, bits and bobs, if you will. Mainly things that the kids might have come in with that they shouldn't have had. You see, like, rusty sort of long swords and things as well that might have been picked up along the way if these children would have been found in sort of precarious positions, things like that. Like bandits or whatever, you know what I'm saying. Confiscated items from people who might have tried to breach the stuff, etc. This is the safest place for anything dangerous to be.
Is there a floor to the storeroom, or is it a grass floor?
It's like a wooden floor.
Cool. Once we're inside there, Flopsy can come down off of Archie's shoulders and house the bottle of rainwater with their weapons.
I don't know if, like... Well, Holland's still got Happy Days, hasn't he?
Yeah, because I went away before.
Yeah. Well, you see, as you're sort of besting Clapperclaw, you see them both walk down towards that area anyway. You're kind of left alone with Clapperclaw, and all these kids, you start to look around and you see these kids are like sort of watching you have this little fight. Like, they sort of like wave at you a little and, you know, treat you as though you're new guests here. Presuming that you're going to be staying.
Yeah, Holland will like just go to whoever's nearest and like offer out the handle of the sword, and he'll just pick up a stick off the ground and keep fighting with that instead, and just to, like, encourage them to join in.
As this kid comes down and this other to take the sword, he notices Happy Days. It's a mace, isn't it?
Yeah.
He looks at it and he says, "Wow, That's a mighty fine weapon you have there. Don't show any of the other little kids, they're not up to that sort of stuff. Me and Kellen here, we're training. Kellen's like, yeah, we want to be in the getaway gang, and when Will dropped us off, and he would have kept us if we were a bit better at fighting, but we're just not there yet. What do you think, Novak? And Novak's like, well, we will. And they sort of pick up their wooden swords, and Novak says, yeah, make sure you put that away. And some of these kids are a bit sensitive. He looks around specifically towards the table of tea drinking kids, and sort of puts his finger on his nose, like,
okie dokie. And we'll just mooch off.
Well, it's nice to meet you anyway. I'm Novak. I'm sorry I didn't introduce myself. This is Kellen. What's your name?
Oh, it comes back. I'm Holland.
Yeah, sorry. We get kind of lots of kids coming. I'm guessing you're gonna be staying with us. So it's nice to meet you, Holland.
Oh, thank you. It's only for a night, though, I think.
Oh,
We're actually on our way to. I think we're going to see Will. I'm not sure.
oh, if you see him, will you tell him that me and Kellen are getting a lot better?
I'll put in a good word.
Thanks. Am I still the oldest here? Just real quick. I just want to make sure.
Well, I am 15.
Ah, good. I'm 16.
Oh, beat me by one.
Yeah. Kellen here slaps him on the back as he's only 13, and Clapclaw's like, and I think I'm about 6 or 7. I don't know. I don't remember. And Novak sort of smiles at him and he goes, "Oh, there's plenty of about 6 or 7-year-olds around here. You're gonna fit in just fine. I don't know about that scary mask though. If you might freak some of the kids out. You might want to, take that off." Clapclaw's like, "Oh, the mask? What do you mean? This is my face." And Novak sort of like looks like, oh fuck, like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Kellen's like, you are such an idiot. Get out of here now. He starts pushing him into this bush, and he's like, get in there right now. I can't believe you've done this. And Novak's like, why? How am I supposed to know? And Clapperclaw's like, oh, is my face scary?
I would say so.
Oh.
I think it's cute.
Oh, I'm a bit worried now. I don't want to scare anyone. If he thinks it's scary and he's 16, then what about all the other children?
Well, I just think he's, like, pretending that it'd be the other kids because he was really scared, but he doesn't want to admit that because he wants to be in, like, the gang or whatever. But, like, I don't think that normal, like, people find you scary. You know what I mean? I think he is, like, below the limit of normal, and he's, like, a coward.
Oh, all right. Maybe that's why. All right. Well, shall I go and say, hey, it don't matter because you're just probably a coward?
Yeah, go on.
Hey, hello. It doesn't matter. He like points his claw. It doesn't matter what my face looks like, cause my brother here, Holland, said that you're probably just a coward. And Novak looks over, like he squints his eyes towards him and you, Holland, and he's like, really? Yeah. Wait, you think I'm a coward? Wait.
Hell yeah.
You gotta be kidding, right? I'm like the bravest.
You just called my cute little brother scary.
I'm gonna one day I'm gonna be in the gang, and I'm gonna
I'm gonna fight against Scabatha, right? You think I'm a coward for that? Or in any way a coward? Really? Kellen's like, what are you doing? These are new guests and you can't let the Eladrin overhear you speaking like this. And he's like, no,
Hey.
Kellen. Yeah, go on.
To Novak. Hey, you see? Oh god, I can't see you guys. On the map, where are you?
Oh, they're all the way down southeast.
You see all the way over there? No.
Hey, you see all the way down there?
Yeah.
Do you see that girl in green?
Well, they've just gone into into the storage hut. Yeah.
Yeah, about 2 seconds before they went in.
Uh-huh.
You saw her. She's like in the getaway gang,
No way.
and she's really brave.
Whoa, really?
Yeah,
You think I can meet her?
well, maybe.
All right, well, let's go. And Kellen's like, stop it! You're going to... And he's like, hey, you just wait here, okay? You know, let's let the big kids talk. He's gonna walk down with you with Holland, and Clapperclaw's gonna go, oh, don't listen to him. He's a coward, like my brother said so. Don't worry about it. He, you know, it's fine. And Kellen's just like, and he's just like, sort of paces up and down whilst you guys all walk down. I'm just gonna take you where. Yeah, there you go. Oh, just right on top of Flopsy.
Yeah, lands on Flopsy.
Lands right on top of Flopsy. Yeah, and they're all inside, sort of midway through plopping the things in there. You see that Flopsy is like relieving himself of the bottle of rainwater on the wooden floor.
And do I have to leave my arrows here too?
Yes, that would probably be best.
What about this one? I pull out like an ancient arrow of elven design. It's kind of like more of a trinket than a stabby thing.
As soon as you pull it out, Novak sort of like puts his hands on the doorframe and like peeks in, and he's like, "Whoa, cool arrow!"
Thank you.
Aerith, you're not annoyed in any way whatsoever. You are very concerned that Novak is seeing a weapon right now.
Novak, what are you doing in here?
Oh, I just got told that there is someone from the getaway gang in here, and I just wanted to have a look for myself. That's all. I'm sorry. Good graces to you, Aerith. He's just gonna stand outside and sort of like twiddle his thumbs a little bit because he doesn't want to. It's not like you have a bad side to get on anyway. Like you don't. You simply do not. But he has respect for you, so he's going to sort of stand aside.
Archie, can you hide that for me real quick, please?
Okay. Archie hides it underneath Holland's scarf that she's wearing.
What, an arrow?
Yeah, it like kind of pokes out. She should have put it somewhere.
He pops in and is like, Lady Aerith.
Aerith kneels down. Oh, well, we're in proportion to height. Aerith's like 5'10".
Mm-hmm.
Where does Novak come up to?
He like meets your height as he's 16.
I reach up and put a hand on his head and give a very ginger smile. And I say, if joining the getaway gang is something you truly want, it shall happen one day. But don't rush things.
You really think so?
I believe if it's what you want, then it could happen.
He smiles very warmly at you and he bows his head and puts his hands behind his back and he averts his eyes from the sort of gated off area. He nods and he says, well, I guess I'll just go. I'll go and be patient. And he just goes outside. Clapperclaw comes bounding in and he's like, "Hi guys, how y'all doing?"
And I like step in front of Copperclaw to block the weapons display. Oh yes, how are you, child?
I'm good. Well, I don't know. I feel pretty confident right now.
He like looks at Holland.
So I'm feeling good. What are we doing in here, guys?
Well, we were just putting our stuff away.
Oh, all right. Well, if I could, well, I don't want to put my stuff in a way, else I'll probably die. So I'm.
No, we're putting our weapons away.
Oh, right. Okay.
And at this like sort of, he's not phased by the thought of weapons whatsoever. So you're not worried about him knowing about this. As he came with these guys, you presume that he knows very well about adventuring parties and things like that. So you're not worried for Clapperclaw. But Holland still has happy days.
Holland, might I ask you to leave your weapon in here with the rest of them?
Oh, okay.
She beams at you and says, "Thank you very much."
Can I get a receipt?
Yes, one moment. And she walks over to like a little, like, wooden like typewriter and goes and like ding, and then pulls it out and hands a slip of paper. Here you go.
You spelt my name wrong. It's not Archee. It's IE. But that's okay. Don't worry about it.
It's not spelled with a Y?
No, it's spelled with an IE.
Huh.
My apologies.
If it was spelled with a Y, I mean, I could be like part of Flopsy's family. Flopsy, Mopsy, Wopsy, Bopsy, Hopsy, Topsy, Archie.
I thought it was short for archery.
Oh, yeah, it is. That's, Vanellope was just wrong when she said whatever you might have heard. So if you heard it, she was lying. That's not my name at all.
I didn't hear what she said anyway. You're just Archie.
Nice.
Archery.
Archery? Because I'm sweet like that.
Right. May we take this conversation outside? I don't want any of the other children coming in.
Oh yeah. Holland, have you put down your mace?
Oh, I guess.
He was like, you know, like he's got it off his back, but he was still like hovering, not wanting to put it down. But he does when Archie says.
Okay, now let's step outside and greet the new day. Oh, sorry, Holland, I stepped on your foot there.
All right. Okay. They're big feet, I know.
As you guys look and see Aerith, she like concentrates for a second and like looks at the door and like kind of makes a little bit of a face of like concentration, and nothing happens, and she kind of squints and then like shakes her head a little bit, smiles, and immediately starts following you guys.
And I used to do that when I was younger, like try to move things with my mind, because I read about it in this book. It was called Melinda. It was about this girl who read a lot of books, and then she got like mind powers, and then she like whacked her teacher with chalk and threw a nude on her and all sorts of things. It's a pretty good book. Do you have books here?
Yes. We have all manners of books. Mainly ones from the material plane that the children brought over. And as she's speaking, like her box kind of like glows and gives her like a little tingling sound, like, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry to interrupt this conversation terribly, but it is time for me and the other Eladrin to cook for the children. Are you guys hungry by chance?
No, I'm Archie. I already told you.
Yes, my apologies. Archie, are you hungry by any chance? You too as well? Oh, and Copperclaw. I could not forget you. I'm
Did
sorry.
you say time to cook food? Because if there's food on the menu, then I'm going to scramble it all up inside my body.
It's true, you're gonna have to make a lot of food.
I can eat for everything that you put in my way. I'll scraffle it right up.
He's not lying.
Especially ham.
Oh, I would love it if you had some ham, and I would also love it if you had some jam. I like jam on my ham.
Jam and ham.
It's a really nice mixture.
You can make it into like a paste.
We've got all the jam and ham you could have asked for.
Sounds good to me.
Do you have horse?
Horse?
It was a trick question.
Hmm.
I hope you don't have horse.
No, only typical meats like the ones you commonly find around here. No, we don't cook domestic animals.
But not campestries, right?
Oh,
Archie
no.
pulls out her little mushroom boys.
Isolde, me. Isolde, me. Isolde.
Puts them back away.
Oh, no. Oh, don't bring those up. Can I hold them? They're so cute.
Well, I think like you gotta put your hand out first and wait for them to like. No, oh, I remember what you gotta do. You gotta dance first. She takes them out and just waits for Aerith to start dancing.
Yeah, Aerith. Like, it's a very... Her, like, hair has, like, autumn leaves in it, and her, like... She's wearing, like, very, like, tightly veiled chainmail that's, like, bronze in color to match the rest of her physique. And it's very long and flowing, and as she does, like, this ballet act, and then, like, ends with a pirouette and lands in front of you.
And the campestry leap from Archie's hand directly onto your hands as you have pirouetted with your hands out. They bounce up and down, one on each hand. One goes, me, 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 me. And the other one goes, Isolde. And you hear it, and you know that that's an Eladrin name.
Isolde.
Oh, I know who it is.
Would I recognize it?
You don't recognise a person called that. You just know that it's a typical Eladrin name. That's, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. Aren't you a curious little fellow?
His name's Izzy. The other one's called Mimi.
I mean, that's a nickname, but Isolde is an Eladrin name.
You also find it curious that these campestry speak at all when usually they just sing melodic tone.
Well, Isolde is just like a word. It's an Eladrin name. He's a campestry.
You don't know it's an Eladrin name, Archie.
Oh, I don't say that. No, well, actually, Aerith just said it. It's an Eladrin name.
Oh, yeah, shit, sorry, I didn't realise.
Yeah. It's an Eladrin name, but these are campestries. They need campestry names like Izzy and Mimi. It has to end with an I.
Yes, of course. Do you know where these curious little individuals learned how to talk? Typically, campestries do not speak.
Do they not? I don't know. I mean, I know they like to dance, except for the bad ones, which don't like to dance. That's how you tell them apart. But I know they like to sing. Even the bad ones. I didn't know they could learn to speak. To be honest, I didn't really think they were speaking. They were just me, la, la, la. You know. that sort of like music noise. Isolde. Maybe they were just taught.
I mean, it's not anything of massive importance. But you guys seem capable. I would like to speak with you in private.
And obviously you would do so after the meal, as you know that it's time to cook it. You see the other Eladrin. You see Stem over here, who is the spring Eladrin. That's sort of like he was sort of walking around this sort of the stones that are surrounding the fountain, like trying to balance as he's walking, playing with these two kids. You see him just jump down. He looks over to you and gives you a salute. And you see him scamper off in this direction. You also see Host as well sort of get up very graciously, give everyone at the table a nod, and they walk over in this direction to the left, towards this hut, which has a wooden sign across the top of it that says the soup kitchen. Novak sort of gives everyone a little bow, and he says, well, I guess, cause, you know, I'm 16, so I want to go and, like, sort of, you know, peel the potatoes. I can help! And he, like, runs off, very needily, sort of, offering his help. But the rest of the kids just sort of seem to be sat in quiet serenity. And they sort of sit around on the grass, sort of waiting, as they know the routine already. Yeah.
Well, speaking of helping, as Novak has gone off to do that, I'm quite a dap hand at cooking things, so if you could use a hand, I would gladly offer my services.
I would never ask you to do that. You're a guest here.
Oh, but I would love to help prepare things for you. I mean, there's quite a lot of people here, so as many hands helping prepare food as possible, I guess. I wouldn't want to get in the way, but I'd love to help if I could.
She like tilts her head to the side, and then for a brief moment, and then beams wildly, claps her hands together, and says, "Well, I always say, the more the merrier. I will gladly accept your help, Flopsy."
I'd offer to help, but like I don't really know how to cook things, so.
Well, you're in for a treat. The kids definitely eat very well here.
Nice. I mean, a good bit of food. And also, sorry about the hungry thing. I kind of misunderstood. Obviously, you know, I'm from the, you know, I used to hang out with a getaway gang. We don't really say, "Are you hungry?" We normally just say, "Is your tumbly rumbly?" That's sort of how we figure out if we're hungry or not. And so I didn't realize that's what you meant.
Oh, it's quite all right. I'm very, I wouldn't say extremely familiar with Will, but he does drop by from time to time.
Have you met him?
Yes, I've even spoken with him before.
Wow. He's cool, isn't he? I mean, he's annoying, but he's kind of cool.
No. I find him quite engaging to talk with. He always has something extremely interesting to say.
Yeah, you can say that again. He always has something extremely interesting to say.
Right, well, lunch awaits. I must go and tend to my children. You are welcome to follow.
Flopsy will follow, like, close behind, because he's going to go with you to help cook.
She's gonna, like, hang around with Holland and clap a claw.
Alright, I'll just move you two up there. As you three sort of lag behind a little. Well, we'll go to Archie, Holland, Clapperclaw first.
So, Holland and Clapperclaw. Do you like it here?
It's so pretty. I'm glad to, like, I guess I just got used to the swamps, but I'm glad to be somewhere, like, nice again, like Mint Muse.
Yeah, Thither's a lot nicer than Hither. That's for certain.
And I like the people. I mean,
Oh, thank you.
of course I like you, but I mean, I like the people here.
Oh, I see. Yeah, they're all really nice.
Did you see that Aerith had she has like a glowing necklace as well?
Yeah, she was pretty, wasn't she?
Yeah. I guess.
Oh, sorry, Holland. Do you not like girls?
I don't know. I was kind of looking at her and I was seeing, if the box had anything on it.
Oh, yeah. Well, apparently it rings. I mean, you saw it sort of like ring, right?
Yeah, I did.
Well, maybe you could, like, ask her about it whilst we're eating the ham and jam.
Only you are going to be eating the ham and jam.
Well, have you never tried it when you slather the jam on the ham, and then you take a big old bite of it, and the jam might go on your face, but it's okay, because you can just lick it right off. I don't have a tongue, but I just, like, wipe it in my mouth and just push it into my mouth, and he's just talking shit as he walks along.
I don't know, I'm more of a fan of Gunchka.
Well,
Gunchka?
What's that?
Yeah, as you're all sort of... Yeah, I was gonna say, as you're all walking along, we'll cut to Flopsy and Aerith. Aerith, you are leading Flopsy into the kitchen of this establishment. You see the rest of the Eladrin are very, very busily sort of chopping, putting things in big vats of boiling water. That's Novak. He's not doing that. But yeah, you see that they're hard at work. The Hoster's got a very... like sort of meditative way of moving around the kitchen. Stem literally dances everywhere he goes. He's like pirouetting, plopping like a little like carrot. Like he like cuts the carrot into the boiling water, and all with a very like pleasant flair. But yeah, Aerith, you lead Flopsy into the kitchen. Flopsy, immediately you smell the familiar smells of a kitchen in action.
Yeah, I just Aerith starts like as she points out, like there's the meat fridge, or there's the meat storage, there's the the grain pantry, there's and as she's doing this, she's also simultaneously going around and being like, "You're doing such a wonderful job, Host. Keep it up. Oh, great moves over there, Stem," and like various things like that, and just a giant smile on her face. You can tell she loves being here.
So I can tell that Host and Stem are hard at work at doing things. Is there anything specific you need made for the children?
Yes. If you want to ask Host, I have a lot of hams to prepare.
Okay, I'll see if there's anything I can do to assist and make another component for what we're eating. I'll go over to Host and see what Host is doing.
Host turns to you. He says, good graces, my friend. Are you willing to help in the kitchen today?
Goodness gracious to you as well. Yes, I'm here to help. I have more experience in baking than anything else, but I'll be able to cobble together anything that is needed.
"Oh, well, if you want, you could be on the dessert. Dessert's over there, next to the counter, next to Stem. Just watch yourself for burning on the stove. It is a very long." He points to the stove. It's a very long sort of Arga-like situation. There are multiple.
Flopsy would know what an Arger is, I'm sure.
I mean, a very large cast iron, multiple like sort of cupboard door looking opening for, you know, like it's not like an oven that you pull down. It's like a you know how you pull it with the handle and shit like that. On top of there's so many burners. There's a section that's free next to a sort of a countertop that has like an array of different mixing bowls, and you can see flour nicely sort of put in these glass sort of containers. Flour, sugar. You can see a nice basket of eggs. You also look to the fridge area, even though, you know, it's a fucking, like, cooling box room area. You can see that there are, like, stacks and stacks of butter and things like that. They have an abundance of food. And you can probably get from this that one of these Eladrin probably has, like, create food and water, and that they keep it well stocked. Yeah, it's like a haven of any possible ingredient you can imagine. Even if they don't have it, Host could certainly conjure it for you.
Flopsy's gonna get his bearings, take a big sniff in of the smells and sights around him, look over at Stem, who's dancing their way through the kitchen, and he's gonna kind of get the inspiration to do the same. Cooking's, I'm not saying this for role purposes, but it's kind of a performance for Flopsy in a way. So this is just for dumb flavor. Prestidigitation, I can create a puff of wind that can last up to an hour. I'm going to set a puff of wind, just continuously go in, puff, 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 near the station that I'll be working at. And I'm going to just place my pan flute down so that the prestidigitation will blow into the pan flute.
Wow.
I'll occasionally move it so that it changes key.
With Mage Hand.
Yeah. And Flopsy's going to dance his way through baking way too many things for the feast. It's becoming a feast.
Stem is literally like, he's popping that booty as the little pan flute's tooting along. He's like, wow, that is a really nice tune. Can you keep that going for the whole time, please? He's like so full of energy now. He looks like he's off his tits on some sort of drugs. Like, as this music sort of flowing through him, he's like a vessel for this energy. And he gets into like hyper mode, and he's sort of kind of tiny bit annoying as he's flying around the kitchen, almost bumping into you, but graciously sort of passing by. Like, you know,
I want to say that Flopsy's almost doing the same thing, but like as they go to bump into each other, they just kind of glide in opposite directions, almost as if they're pirouetting around each other.
Nice. Yeah, he does that thing when he walks backwards and then pirouettes round to like spin past you and then continues on his way. Host is very methodical and very calm and very relaxed about everything. He moves quite slowly. He's taking a lot of care and precision over everything that he does. So whilst that's all cracking off in the kitchen, you guys sort of made it up to where the kids are all sat. You notice that they're all sitting in a circle, sort of on the grass. And in this very open space as well, you see that the sun is at its sort of zenith. It's its highest point in the sky. And they're all sort of like shielding their eyes, and they're sat like picking the grass a little bit. And you see that this kid, Milo, he's looking around quite anxiously. And this girl, sort of little elf-looking child, sort of pats his back and sort of, you know, tries to cheer him up. He, Bertie, is sat with his legs crossed and he's like wiggling his knees in a sort of strange sort of like way that he's sort of looking around and he's like, I'm not sure if I'm in the right place. Maybe I should. Do you guys know what I'm supposed to be doing here?
What? Why? What? What?
I mean, your friend, the big rabbit man. I'm sorry if that's not.
It's called a Harengon.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm just. I don't see many. And I don't want to make any faux pas. But well, they went in there, and now you're here, and I'm not sure where I should sit or do. What should I do?
Archie just sort of like looks at him for a little bit, and she's like, "I'm being really mean to you, and it's not fair."
Why? I'm sorry. I'm rather confused. I didn't. I mean, I know that I'm probably speaking out of turn quite a lot, and I'm not used to this, and I don't really know who you are. I'm sorry if I've offended you in any way.
No, it's not. It's not your fault.
Oh, okay. Do you think I should? He sort of like points behind his shoulder. Do you think I should go into the kitchen and try and make myself useful or something?
Are you good at cooking?
He looks red in the face. I can't say that I can't say that I've ever done that.
Really? Why not? Don't most people cook? I mean, I never had to when I was young.
Well, you see, I had people to do that for me. Back at home.
Oh, I'm so sorry. So you're like me then?
If what you mean is that you have maids and cooks at your house, then I suppose yes.
Then I'm really sorry.
What's there to be sorry for?
You shouldn't have been so mean. I didn't know what you had to go through.
To go through? I mean, I know a lot of us who have such privileged lives can be, quite lacking in our
privilege.
In our empathy for others. But no, we treat our maids and cooks very well. They have excellent quarters and take very long breaks. And no, I don't feel that it has been bad for me, and not for them either. I think it's been quite.
I don't know. If you ask me, it's like comfortable. Well, I mean, all the comforts of your own personal prison, right?
Well, I'd certainly not want to live in a prison. I don't find that at all. Clapperclaw's completely fucking ignored everyone and has just run straight off to the kitchen. And that's where he's gone. Yeah. And he's like, no, I don't. I'm sorry if that's been your experience, but it's certainly not mine. Hence why I'd like to leave and go back to my home as soon as possible.
Well, I mean, Neverwinter. Why would you even want to go somewhere? I like all of the seasons.
He has no idea what you mean by that, and I suppose I should make myself busy. And he's like backing away very awkwardly, like, I hope I do well. I hope yes. And this girl comes up to you. She sort of stands up and she walks up to Archie and she says,
Excuse me. I think that are you older than 18?
I'm 19.
Oh, I think you're supposed to be in there.
And she points over towards the kitchen.
Why?
Oh, well, all the adults are supposed to do the cooking, and we wait here for the food.
Yeah, but I'm a special guest. I'm part of the getaway gang, don't you know?
She looks kind of blankly at you, and she's like,
I don't know much about that, but that's what you're supposed to do.
And she goes and sits next to Milo and like looks at you over her shoulder a little bit, sort of like staring, like awkwardly.
No, well, have fun, Holland. Better go inside.
You see Clapperclaws like peeking into the kitchen. Stem's like, no little ones in here. No, he doesn't speak like that. No little ones in here. Go and sit down with the rest of the children. And he's like, all right, okay, but I'm just waiting for some ham. I'll be waiting here for my ham over here with my ham waiting abilities. I've got to wait for my ham, Holland. They won't let me in the kitchen to sniff the ham.
Why would you want to sniff the ham before it's ready?
I don't know. I just want to sniff some ham and make sure.
It's like they say, don't jump the ham. You can't smell it before it's ready.
Well, I'll take your advice because you're my big brother, and you know what's best.
Big brother knows best how to prepare a ham.
Maybe one day we could cook our own ham together. Shall we go?
When we own a furnace.
A furnace?
Is that not what they use? I don't know.
Yeah, we could make a great big fire and pop the ham on the fire and burn it up to a crisp.
Maybe like an ice fire or something.
An ice fire?
Yeah, I don't want a big fire.
Well, how else are you supposed to roast it up real good and get it all crispy?
Well, there must be a way. I'm sure we can find something without burning it.
Alright, whatever you say. Maybe there's some special magic that can do it.
And he's just gonna go and plop himself down with his legs crossed and wait. Archie, you enter the kitchen and Stem sort of looks at you a little bit, squints, and he's like, he continues along his way. He's like, you feel like he's judged your age is appropriate to be in here, and if that's offensive to you or not, then whatever. But yeah.
Flopsy's gonna, as he's around doing stuff, is gonna hop in front of Archie. He'll have a smile on, but it's one of them that's when you're doing food and a child walks in that really wants to help, but you just know they're gonna mess it up.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of smiling, but he's like, hello, it's not ready yet, Archie.
I hope you're not making snails.
Oh no, I've heard of some people cooking with those, but it never really appealed to me.
Well, maybe I'll make an ice cream.
Have you ever made ice cream before, Archie?
No, but it's made out of cheese, right?
Flopsy's eye twitches a little bit while he's still smiling. No, you could help with cheesecake if you want to use cheese.
Cheesecake? What would that? Is there cheese in cheesecake? Is that why it's called that?
Flopsy's eye twitches a little bit more. Yes. If are you good at following instructions, Archie?
Well, I suppose I can follow instructions. Oh, I know what I can make. Here, watch this, Flopsy. I'm gonna make something really good. Archie gets loads of flour. She sort of uses the last bit of flour in the bag, so she grabs a bag of self-raising flour and puts that in too. And then she looks around. Is there any eggs here? Flopsy, can you get me an egg?
Yes, sure. Flopsy kind of moves all of his well-prepared stuff out of the way to make space for Archie's mess that's going to happen, and then pulls an egg over to Archie.
Okay. Archie puts the holds the egg over the bowl that she's put the flour in, and she just squeezes it and cracks it like that, and then sort of dusts the hands off, and the eggshells go all the way in. And then she gets the butter, and she just basically just gets she picks up the butter and she pulls out a chunk of it with her hands and just sort of drops the knob of butter in. And then she yeah.
Can I ask, what is it that you're trying to make? It's such a unique cooking method you're using.
Lasagna.
Do you know what lasagna is, Archie?
Yeah, it's like...
Because I've
it's like
never heard of it before.
lasagna. Oh, well, it's quite popular, where I'm from. In the getaway gang, that is. Yeah, basically, you get meat, and you put, like, pasta on it, and then another meat, and then another pasta, and then another meat, and then pasta, and you can put more layers on, as many layers as you want. I normally just go for 3. You can't go less than 3, though, because rule of 3. And then you get some, like, cheese, you put that on, and then you put it in the microwave.
What?
After hearing all of this, Flopsy is just smiling and nodding the entire time. Flopsy is going to cast message over to Host and relay what a lasagna is, according to Archie. Host, I know you're working with meat over there. Is there any chance that you could possibly make a lasagna, if you've ever heard of that?
A lasagna. He hears all the instructions as you've relayed them.
Meat pasta, 3 layers at least.
I can see what I can do. Is there any other ingredients that I might have missed out on? Meat and pasta sounds a little bit dry.
Cheese on top is what I've been told. But use your intuition. Add anything to make it not as ghastly as it sounds right now.
He sort of smiles and gives you a nice nod, and I'll try my very best. And he very slowly, methodically starts trying to make some lasagna.
I hope Host is humble, because I'm going to sleight of hand the shit out of that to make Archie think that she made it.
All right, okay. He's gonna start making what he thinks is a lasagna, and as you're all sort of busy in the kitchen, fucking Bertie comes in and he's like, right, so I'm here, I'm ready to work. Excuse me, you seem to be the lady of this establishment. Treat me as if I was one of your servants.
I don't have any servants.
Well, imagine that you are a grand and noble woman. Pretend for a minute, and
there's nothing noble about a noble woman. Archie goes back to cooking.
Oh, okay. Perhaps that's not the custom here. Well, I am at your service. That's my offer.
Can't I just treat you as a friend?
Side note, obviously you don't know much about the Feywild customs because you're not used to them. If someone offers you something, you are obliged to take it, and you will give something back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you'd like. And I kind of scooped a bunch, this bowl of, freshly cooked ham.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, for the little copper claw, I'm making hingyum and jam soup. If you want to finish that, I will go and take a look around and see if I can help anybody else with anything.
And what gift would you give him for this service?
Cheeky kiss.
I cup his face with my hand and I give him a forehead kiss and I say, I appreciate you so much.
He just goes red in the face straight away. And he sort of looks over to Archie and Flopsy and sort of wiggles his eyebrows and is like, oh, can you remember my dream? Perhaps it's going to come true.
Oh, shut up about your dream.
Okay, sorry. Yes, I will continue the ham and jam soup, whatever that is. He looks down at it with a bit of sort of strange grimace. But anyway, as that's going on, Clapperclaw sat down with his legs crossed, sort of staring around at all the kids. Novak and Kellen are having a little conversation. You see that they're sort of like paired off into twos, that they're these little sort of friends and everything. Except this group here, where the girl and this boy here are sort of like putting their hand on this little kid's shoulders and just sort of like leaning their heads towards him, as you know, like how kids do, where they get right up in your face to make sure that you're okay and things. Milo just seems to have a 1,000-yard stare. Yeah, he's like a little halfling child. Clapperclaw's just like sat looking around at everyone. He's completely oblivious to this.
Aren't you gonna come sit next to me, Holland?
Yeah. Just give me a second, because I'm not on the map.
Oh, you're over here. I'll just plop you down.
Holland.
Yeah.
Yeah, just makes his way next to Clapperclaw, wherever that may be.
Mm-hmm.
It's taking a while, isn't it? Wonder what they're making.
I hope it's ham and jam.
Yeah.
He sort of looks over at the kid, who looks very sort of, 1,000-yard stare. He like whispers right directly next to you, and he's like,
I wonder what's wrong with him.
Well, there might not be something wrong. He might just be thinking real deep.
Maybe.
That's what I'm like when I do my meditations.
You see that Clapperclaw's staring at him for quite a while and leans in again and says,
You know, I think I've seen him somewhere before. For some reason, he has a really familiar face to me.
Well, aren't all these people, like, rescued by will of the Feywild? And weren't you also rescued?
Yeah, I mean, no, not really. I wasn't rescued or anything like that. I was sort of, like, kicked out, but, like, I mean, only thing I really remember is that I was walking away into the wilderness with this body, and I don't really remember much else. Everything else just sort of seems like a weird dream. You know, like kind of when we went in that cave and we had like a weird dream, and then it felt like it was just a dream afterwards or something. I can't remember what happened in there, but we just had a weird dream.
Yeah. I don't know what it was, but it just makes me feel bad in my tummy.
Yeah.
You see that his like skull face is just pointed towards this kid. This kid as well, 1,000-yard stare, has not removed his eyes from a fixed point in the distance. However, Shauna, I'm just going to say the names because they're all named so you can see the names. Shauna and Suraj are sort of like trying to speak to him, and his mouth never opens. Like he just looks like a husk. I think he's not responding to anyone or anything.
I'm gonna shuffle around Clapperclaw and go to Novak.
Mm-hmm. Hey.
Hey, I just it might be a bit like sensitive, but well, your Clapperclaw thinks he might know that little boy that's like not speaking. I was just wondering, like, what's his deal?
Oh, all right. Maybe. I mean, we're the oldest kids here, so maybe we could go and have an older kids conversation over here. Kellen, I'll be back in a second. And Kellen's just literally like, oh, he's so like, fuck, because he don't want anything to go wrong. You can tell that Kellen is a very anxious kid. Yeah, he's really strange. He hasn't even spoken a word since he's been here. It's like there's nothing behind his eyes. I know that Will sort of dropped him off kind of a while ago. I can't really remember how long ago it was, but seems like he's been here for a while. Ever since he just dropped him off, he can like walk around and stuff, but he doesn't speak.
Well, Clapperclaw says that he, like, knows the face. His face, even.
Oh, yeah?
Maybe they were, like, at Scabatha's at the same time.
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah. Oh, you don't know? Oh, a lot of these kids have been, like, have either tried to run away from Scabatha, or they've been sort of like, you know, Will likes to go in there and try and get as many of them out as possible. So I'm actually not. I've never seen. I've never actually seen Scabatha. I mean, I want to protect those who get taken by her. Of course, I want to save them. But no, I was actually kind of cornered by an owlbear somewhere, and Will scooped in and helped me out. I'm not actually from here. I ended up here. I'm actually from just a small town. Somewhere. It's not like this place. It's not as magic as this place.
Oh, where is it? Maybe I've been.
I don't know if you know anywhere. Are you from here?
Well, I was originally, but then I started working at this carnival, and we go to loads of different places.
Oh, well, maybe you know. I promise. It's a really small town. It's called Phandalin. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Phandalin.
It's sort of like on the Sword Coast, near the Tribor Trial. No one's really ever heard of it. I mean, I know it's really small. It's certainly no Neverwinter or Waterdeep or Luskin, I can tell you that.
Well, we've definitely been to the Sword Coast.
Oh, have you?
Phandalin. Yeah, I think.
You
probably
definitely would have been there at some point. Actually, you personally wouldn't have, but you would have known people at the carnival who have.
Right, okay.
Yeah, because it only visits certain planes once every 8 years, so.
Well. Oh, we were supposed to go there, like, next month, but, like, I'm here now instead.
Oh, I guess the same thing happened to you then.
Yeah.
And how did it happen? Did you look into a droplet of dew for a bit too long? Or did you trip your way through a tree?
My, like, bosses, like, sort of my dad's, like, made a mirror open, and we came through here.
Oh, the Harengon guy?
Oh, that's Flopsy. He's not my boss. We work on completely different areas of the carnival.
Oh, I thought, because you said your dad, I thought that was him. Sorry, I didn't realize. But yeah, I mean, you know, so you came here by choice.
Yeah.
Wow. That's very brave. It's very different from what we're used to, right?
I mean, we didn't know how bad it was. Last time I was here, it wasn't even, like, split in 3.
Oh, really? I just figured it was always like this. Yeah. He sort of like stares over at Clapperclaw, who's literally directly staring at Milo the whole conversation. Like, he has no sense or awareness of the fact that it might be strange to stare at another kid. Like, Shauna keeps, like, tutting and looking over at him, just like, what the fuck? And Novak's like, yeah, I think you're a friend, or your brother? I think he said he was your brother. Yeah, I think you might be, like, freaking those kids out, you know? I know that you said that I was, like, a coward or something, but it's not usual, is it, to look like that?
Yeah, look, I was just trying to save face a little bit. No pun intended.
That's pretty funny. You're pretty cool. Maybe we could get into the getaway gang together. I saw you fighting earlier. I thought that was pretty slick.
Oh, well, I overheard you talking about magic. You gonna be a magic user too?
Maybe one day. I mean, I was talking about my shield. That was kind of just pretend.
Well, yeah, but you know, even just knowing about that stuff, like, you must be interested.
Yeah, I guess I'd have to learn, but we don't get many books about how to do magic here. It's mainly just, like, strange stories about, like, a girl called Melinda who can, like, move things with her mind, and it doesn't tell you how to do it, it just tells you about her life and how she threw a lot of, like, chalk on her teacher or something. I don't know. It's...
Flopsy can, like, do that, like, as long as it's, like, a really small piece of chalk. He could throw some chalk at a teacher.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Can you do magic?
I can't throw chalk, but I can do little bits of magic.
I'll go show me some of your magic if you want.
Oh, what to do? Oh, there's just so many choices, you know. He's gonna, because they're right next to this pond, he's just gonna make it like a pristine, just like whirlwind.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the water version's called.
As soon as you cast a spell, this winter Eladrin face steps towards you like, please refrain from doing any magic in this area. Roll a wild magic.
Nice.
Gosh, turn him into a potted plant.
I wasn't sure if the spell actually went through if someone came over. But
oh, it would have. Yeah, that's the act of the magic going through would have done that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you good?
20.
Like...
That's a Nat 20. Does that not do it up?
Yeah.
Oh shit, the 20 does. It's a nat 20. Sorry, I didn't realise it was nat because it wasn't red. Yeah, no, fucking green. It's nat. Well, here it goes. Roll a d100.
D100. I have one of those somewhere. 87.
I hope he bloody turns into a potted plant.
So you like turn around to see this Eladrin's like very solemnly telling you off. Novak starts to like float up into the air, and he's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! I didn't mean that." And he keeps going higher and higher, and he's like, "Whoa, no, you can put me down now, okay? You can put me down." And he's floating even higher and even higher. And Vint just sort of like just go on.
Grab his leg.
He grab his leg. All right, make a dex check. DC 10.
Just straight dex.
Yeah.
Bloody
heck. You jump
You
up.
can add a
Wait,
D4,
I can add a
can't
D4.
you? Yeah.
Oh, the D4, yeah.
Here we go.
Hey.
Nope.
Okay. You jump up and try and grasp at his foot, and he just like starts floating up higher and higher and higher. And he's like, "Oh, please, put me down!" And he's like going up high to the sky. And all the kids like look up like, "Oh!" Clapperclaw's head whips round and he's like, "Holland, what are you doing?" Vint just sighs, and he looks at you and he says, "I asked you very kindly to not do that." And he sort of like clicks his fingers, And you feel suddenly that you are unable to do magic at all. And Novak's coming down fast, alright? As he comes down fast, as soon as his feet are about to hit the floor, he's like, whoa! He just hovers as Featherfall's been cast on him. And he gracefully floats down to the ground. And Vint looks very disappointed in you, but he looks very disappointed in everything anyway. And he says, like I said, you will not do magic here. Understood?
Yeah, okay. Novak. I'm sorry, that wasn't me. I was just trying to make the water spin. I didn't put you in the air.
Wait, what? Vint pops out of the fucking situation, because he's already put an anti-magic sort of situation around you now. Yeah, you feel like if you were just going to try and do magic, you couldn't anyway. But yeah. And Novak's just like, you know what, that was pretty awesome, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I did think I was going to float up to, the stratosphere, but that was cool. That was really cool.
I bet you could see, like, the whole of the Feywild from up there.
I mean, I was too busy looking down at you, trying to get your attention, but maybe, if you want to try and do it again, but I think Vince, he's a bit of a, he's what you'd call a,
Oh.
At that, everyone, all the Eladrins are coming out with all this food. Flopsy and Archie, what have you made? And also, by the way, the lasagna is ready.
Can I... I'm gonna try and give Archie a menial task to do to distract them for a second.
Okay.
And just
Archie...
for context as well, Archie, when she made she put loads of ingredients in a bowl. She just sort of poured it into a tray, like there was no layering at all. She just kind of assumed it would come out how she wanted.
Archie, I've made quite a lot here. Could you help me take some of this out?
Oh, sure. What do you want me to help you with?
Well, you can take some of the plates of cookies and cupcakes out if you like.
Mm.
I'm going to kind of hand you plates upon plates.
Oh gosh. She's like waitress style, sort of carrying like 50 plates on her arms. No, hopefully I don't fall and knock all of these cupcakes on the floor. Otherwise they'd be flop cakes, like Flopsy.
I wouldn't really want to put my name to those, but yes, hopefully you don't. I have spares just in case.
Archie, you don't know it, but Stem is sort of casting a little like balancing situation on you to keep you stable, as he dances out with all the food and stuff. Whilst Archie's preoccupied, Flopsy.
I'm gonna run over to Host, take the lasagna. Thank you ever so much for making this. It looks perfect. What does it look like?
It literally looks like a lasagna. Like, it just doesn't have the sauce, like any of the sauce. It's like dry, sort of like mincemeat. It looks like, it's exactly how you described it, and perfectly cooked. But there is no red sauce or white sauce on this. It's just cheese, meat, and pasta.
Lovely.
Yeah.
I'm going to place a little plate down in place of it and say, as a thank you for making this, I've made you something as well. It's special. Nobody else is getting one like this. I hope you enjoy it. It's an iced bon with Host is the boss on it. I've tried to make a rhyme, but it doesn't quite rhyme. But it's like hand icinged on, so it looks nice.
Oh, thank you. That is so very kind of you. And I would like to offer you this. And he takes like a sort of roots around in his little pockets and is like all of his robes. And he hands to you a single feather.
Oh, the lasagna was more than enough, but thank you so much.
I didn't realise the lasagna was a gift, as it is being used to feed the children. So here's my gift to you, and he graciously gives it to you.
Thank you. I shall cherish it. I'm going to pocket the feather for now. I'm not going to inspect it because while Archie is carrying the plates, I want to go over to where Archie was cooking and swap out the good lasagna for whatever mess Archie has made.
Aerith, you see Flopsy swapping this out because you are the kitchen manager, you are the manager of this place, you're watching everything carefully. You see him swapping it out, and as a autumn Eladrin, obviously everything to you is acceptable and valid, and Archie really tried. It's not that you're going to have a criticism of this, you're just going to probably wonder why Flopsy's doing this.
Also, would Aerith know anything about lasagna?
She wouldn't have a clue about what lasagna is. She came from a place of like good hearty stew, you know. So yeah, it's lasagna is a bit of a it's not rustic enough. It's too fancy.
Okay. What are you doing, Flopsy?
Well, Archie is fantastic at so many things that I'm terrible at, but I've never quite seen her cook before, and quite frankly, unless I was to spend some time teaching her, I don't think I'd really like to see her cook again. I just thought, for the sake of the children, this would be a lot more acceptable than this, and I'm going to show like a presumably burnt mess of eggshell flour that hasn't been properly mixed in, so it's quite clumpy. Butter that has just bubbled to the top as if there's a layer of just oily butter.
Not only that, when Flopsy shows you this mess, Aerith, you see that some of the meat that's been plopped in there is also just raw.
Of course it is. There's
I don't know how something can be raw
some
and
scales on it.
Yeah.
I'm going to have Host. He probably knows a way to get all the materials out of this and separated and things like that nature. Host.
I really don't think this is salvageable, but if you have hope, then...
He takes a look at it and he goes, oh dear.
Oh dear.
He like picks an eggshell out, and as he does, he disturbs it, and you see that the grease just pools in the bit that he's disturbed, and you see that he's trying to contain his grimace, but he goes, "No, this is okay. We can salvage a little, I suppose." And he's like pulls out a full layer of like what looks like an attempt at making flat pasta, but it's like a sheet of plastic as it comes out. Actually, I know that we do not like waste here, but I actually think this needs to go in the garbage.
You think it's that bad, Host?
Yes, I love to give comforting food, and I like to, make people feel warm and comfortable, and this would be very difficult to eat, and probably would make a lot of the children very sick.
Oh, I don't think it's that bad. Look here, and I grab a fork off the table and stab it and try it.
Make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh my god!
Oh, no.
Is this your first roll? Oh no! Oh, okay. You eat it. It tastes terrible. You swallow it. You get like a feeling of slime as it's like it goes down your body, but it doesn't make you feel ill. You just know it's not good.
It's probably surprisingly spicy.
Yeah. You get you try to suppress a burp, but it comes out a little bit, and the burp burns on the way out.
Oh, nice. Excuse me. I will take that. I'm going to dispose of this properly. It wasn't bad. I just wanted to point that out. But I'm going to go with Host on this one. I'm going to trash.
Well, at least you tried.
That's the thing. I think Archie's heart is in the right place, so I wanted her to think that she had done a good job rather than, bursting her bubble, so to speak.
Ah, that is what this
Make
lasagna
me
was
cry.
for. Oh, is that was supposed to be a lasagna? Oh, I get it now.
Yes, I could taste the love as the eggshells ripped up my throat.
Oh, crunchy. Yeah. No, I'll take that from you, Aerith. And he's going to hold his hands out and take it to the bin and scrape it in, and it makes so many different noises as it's like slops and cracks and with a heavy thud at the end because a bit like coagulated sticky cheese, like just like thunks with a wet splash into the bin. Now that is gone. Let us feast.
Archie, wait, hold on. Archie comes back in. She sees the lasagna. Wow! I made this myself.
I don't know how you've done it, but it looks absolutely perfect, doesn't it?
Flopsy, I might be a better cook than you.
You certainly are on the way, from the look of it.
Roll a deception.
I'm gonna say, like, yes, you did a wonderful job, Archie.
I'm going to say that you don't need to, because your Autumn Eladrin thing is you've always got a kindly face. So you would just believe, you wouldn't even be lying if you know. But Flopsy, yeah, Archie, you get the impression that Flopsy really means this. It's like a great honour, because Flopsy's obviously a talented chef.
Wow. I mean, I don't think I'll ever, stop my archery, but who knows, maybe one day I'll like start up a archery and cupcakes like shop, and it'll be called Archery with a Cherry on Top.
As Huss leaving, carrying out some other things, you just hear him just like, not in like a condescending way, just like in a very cheerful, mirthful sort of like, oh okay, sort of way. He's just like,
you certainly do have
go on.
a bit of natural talent. I suppose you just need to nurture that and continue from there. It doesn't all come at once.
Well, I don't know. I'm looking at this, and I mean, I've never made a lasagna, but I've done a great job.
Aerith,
You've done an unbelievable job.
Aerith, you have the ham and jam soup to carry out. Flopsy and Archie, obviously Flopsy, you've got whatever you want, and Archie, you can proudly carry that fucking lasagna out.
I'm going to stretch the limits of whatever you want, because Flopsy will need to make several trips back.
Alright. Yeah, you to and fro for a bit, and you see that they're sort of laying out the food, like sort of on a huge like sort of picnic blanket in the centre of this thing. It's very methodically done. You get the impression that this is the sort of routine that they have. And he just sort of sits down next to this kid and looks at him and he's like, okay, he doesn't really know what to do with himself. But yeah, and as the host, Aerith, you obviously would begin the initial sort of prayer to Zybilna.
Oh, mighty Zybilna of the Feywild. Thank you for gracing us with your holy presence this day. These children are very lucky, as well as I, to have you to watch over us. In the name of Zybilna, we all say,
Good graces.
let us eat and enjoy the day.
As soon as you put down that ham and jam, Clapperclaw is all on that shit. He's literally like shoving his claws right in, just like nom 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 nom. Is this all for me?
Every last bite.
Oh, thank you, Holland. Holland, I got the ham and jam. You gotta try this.
Novak comes along and it's like, yeah. And you sit down, and you enjoy a pleasant little meal. And the entire time, there's this ominous presence of this child as he stares forwards and doesn't seem to touch any of his food at all. He doesn't like... It's almost as though he doesn't have the capacity to understand that he would be hungry. And you see that Suraj is sort of like picking up food with his hands and sort of putting it near his mouth. He tries to open his mouth for him and pull his lips down and things, and he does end up pushing a bit of food into his mouth and massaging his cheeks to make him eat. He doesn't seem to be like enjoying anything at all. He doesn't seem to be expressing any emotions. He's just staring the whole time.
As Aerith looks at that, her face kind of like her frow burrows a little bit in like a look of motherly concern.
Mm-hmm. You know this child has been here for a little while. You aware of how he is already. He's been like this since the day he arrived. And you get the impression, it dawns on you that there's a very similar sort of feeling about him. It's almost like the other things that Nana would make that weren't like you.
I approach Milo and I say, with a smile and a hand on his back, "Hey Milo, how are we feeling today?"
As usual, Milo does not speak, does not acknowledge you, stares forwards as Suraj and Shauna sort of try to feed him. He is eating and swallowing, but there's nothing else. His eyes are glazed over.
As I do this, I attempt to catch Archie and Flopsy's eyes, almost as if to say, "We need to talk."
Archie noses on over. Having a few bites of lasagna on the way. Nothing like hard work.
Once we're all done eating, might I grab you and pull you guys aside? Holland and Klopperklo can come too.
Is everything all right?
Yes, everything is fine. I just don't want to trouble the children with semantics of adults.
Oh, I don't know much about taxes and stuff, but Flopsy owns a business, so maybe he knows about that sort of stuff.
I don't really know much about taxes. If it's about taxes, I'm not going to be very helpful, but we can all try and help as best we can with whatever's going on.
Don't forget to carry the wand.
Flopsy twirls his eyes around as if he's making a mental note to carry the wand.
Well, should we follow you to somewhere?
Enjoy the food, obviously. We spent all this work on it. I mean, you eat first, I insist.
Well, I mean, I've been eating, I've already had 3 plates of this lasagna that I made. Holland, have you tried this lasagna that I made? It's pretty good.
No, I've been eating the ham and jam, the soup.
And it's real good, right?
It's an unlikely combination, but it does work quite well.
Told you.
Unlikely lovers. Well, why didn't you just have a little bite? I'm a better cook than Flopsy is. And Archie, puts out a fork for Holland to eat.
Is that so? Holland, raises his eyebrow at Flopsy. But
Flopsy gives
he'll
the
take a bite.
dadliest smile.
Holland, you taste this food and it tastes just like Flopsy's cooking.
This tastes just like Flopsy's cooking.
If not better.
But as he says it, he gives a side eye to Flopsy. This
Flopsy
tastes
winks.
just like. Well done, Archie.
Thank you, Holland.
Aerith, I have an idea for after all of the food. I made a little extra. Do you suppose I should grab that now? Does it seem like everyone's kind of finishing up eating?
They're in the full throes of
Still.
eating. Yeah, it's dinner time.
Fair dues. I mean, it is like a dessert thing that I had a plan for, so I could bring it out whenever. But
Yeah. I think at this point, Aerith wants to sort of, whilst they're all eating, whilst they're all distracted, sort of take you off to the side to discuss, as she said.
I thought Aerith said after we'd eaten. But
Oh, no, yeah. I mean, at this point, it's the kids
we
are all
probably
distracted.
take some food with us.
Yes, that'll work fine. Just away from the children, please.
All right. Where do you want to take us to?
We can come and sit by the fountain.
Ma, Holland, it seems like it's something important. She said we can come too, right? We're not we're like fighters and stuff, aren't we?
Oh yeah, we're the tough guys of the group.
Yeah, maybe there's something that needs to be protected, or maybe something needs to be slapped by my claws,
We'll go be security while the grown-ups talk.
Alright. I'll stand here looking important.
He stands as tall as he possibly can, which is not very high at all. He's actually very small and slight. Yeah, so...
Holland goes and stands next to where Flopsy is, but with his back to him, and does a stance that he's seen Swacko and what's his name, the bugbear do.
Oh yeah, very very bouncer-esque stance.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's security. He's proper having it up for Clapperclaw.
Hey, Clapperclaw's copying.
Wow, Clapperclaw. You look just like a knight.
Oh, thanks.
Anyway, what did you want to talk about?
You guys seem like you've been on quite a few adventures.
Well, I can't speak for everyone, but I've certainly been around.
I'm sure you've noticed Milo. I don't quite know what is wrong with him. He doesn't talk, and it worries me. In fact, he reminds me of, what's the word? An automaton. Without a soul. I don't get out of the orphanage much because I usually am here protecting the children. You wouldn't happen to know anything about what's going on, would you?
Well, I don't really know the kind of things that Scabatha does, but she does have an interest in children, doesn't she?
This is news to Aerith, isn't it?
You know that from Will that a lot of some of the children he's sort of brought to you have come from Scabatha the Hag. You are aware of Scabatha's presence. You are not aware of the fact that she's taken over. You just hear about this hag and these kids and shit because Will's very scatterbrained when he's speaking. He just gives you he talks to you as though you know what he's talking about. So you just hear about this hag, you hear about these kids, and you hear about workshops. You hear about them getting forced to work. So when they come back, they're liberated from that essentially slavery. But also Will's sort of giving you very vague details on more things that she does to torture children. And by vague, he brushes it off as though he doesn't really want to mention it because when he's brought a kid to you, the kid is in his presence. So he brushes over that stuff. But yeah.
As you mentioned this, Aerith's brow kind of furrows, and she gives a glance back to Milo, and then looks back to you guys, and she's like, "Tell me, if you don't mind, can you tell me more about this Scabatha?"
Well, I don't know much about her personally. I just know that she has a dislike for children, and I have heard she has a proclivity for cursing them in different ways. Perhaps she's maybe done something to Milo that he doesn't quite want to remember, and so he stays quiet.
You're telling me this woman hurt one of my children?
Well,
I think she's hurt a lot of children. She hurt Clapperclaw.
But upon mention of his name related to Scabatha, Clapperclaw's like, I really like being a bouncer. It's such great fun, isn't it, Holland? Why don't we go be a bouncer around the perimeter of this area, And he's sort of like bouncing around. He's trying to avoid this conversation completely.
Well, one of the great things about bouncers, as I'm sure you know, Holland, is how bouncy they are. He's kind of got the dad face on of like, take your younger brother to bounce around a bit.
Well, that's what we're doing,
that's
right?
how they got their name.
Yeah, well, that isn't that what we do? We bounce in different directions to make sure that if there's a robber or a killer or something, we bounce in their direction and go, get out of here, killer.
Yeah, let's go secure the whole village, because I don't trust that other guy, to be honest.
All right.
I think we gotta do it ourselves.
Yeah, let's go bounce on that guy.
Kill it.
Clapperclaw bounces off with Holland into the distance.
As they go away, I say, before I begin my next part of what I wanted to tell you, I wanted to thank you two again personally. You two here has been a delight, along with the two children.
Well, I'd want to thank you as well. This is a delightful place to be. I know there's a lot of sadness in the air from the children, but I'm just glad they have a place where they can be found.
Yes.
I agree.
Thank you. I would like to give you two something.
Oh,
Follow me, please. She comes around, and as you guys are walking by, out of the little cracks of the bottom of the stone fountain, she pulls out these silvery-looking flowers. And she plucks out one for both of you, and she says, "These are moon lilies.
they're
Nothing really
beautiful.
special about them. Yeah. There's nothing really special about them. The only thing that they really do is they glow a very pretty shade of blue in the moonlight. I thought you guys would like them.
Oh, of course. Here, have this, have Holland's scarf.
Thank you. I mean, that's a very generous gift.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. Oh well. And Flopsy?
Well, you say I'd like it. I absolutely love it. I think it looks beautiful. Here, I'd like you to have this. I'm gonna reach into my bag and pull out a little bottle of orange liquid that looks a bit fizzy and hand it to you.
Sorry, I was reading something real quick. What did you hand me?
It's a little bottle of fizzy orange liquid. It's one of my favorite drinks from when I was a young child. It doesn't seem to come up quite often anymore, so I'm hoping you'll like it.
I'm positive I would love it. It's coming from a new friend. Lead me to my new point. At the dinner table, when I was thanking Zybilna, I don't like to admit it, but I was lying. For the children's sake. Typically, I am inclined in the arcane arts, but lately my powers have been failing me. Most that I can do is this, and she lifts a pebble up off the ground, just kind of points at it and then flicks it, but she doesn't touch it at all. I used to be able to cast all kinds of spells. Zybilna has faded from me, and I'm not sure why. I don't know if she's mad at me, or if I've done something wrong, or...
She looks a bit concerned at Archie.
Do you not know?
No, what's been going on?
Well, these hags have taken over. I mean, I don't really remember exactly, what everyone was saying. I've not been here since Zybilna's... But she's gone. She used to be here, and then she disappeared. But that was all before I even arrived. And these hags, Scabatha, Bavlorna, Totheran,
I knew it!
they all took over in that.
And you're saying these hags, the same ones who have been hurting my children?
Well, only one of them has been hurting your children, but yeah.
These hags are the reason that my patron has been missing?
Well, probably. Maybe she disappeared and then the hags showed up. There was a power vacuum or something. But probably, yeah.
Do you know about when the hags arrived?
Well, I wasn't... I was here after they arrived. Yeah. I think I arrived because, I don't know, it was something weird with a Hall of Mirrors in a carnival. But, yeah, I came here, and the hags were already here. I mean, Will actually saved me. And we've been like besties ever since. Well, even if he is annoying.
This information, Aerith, says to you that Archie must have been viewed as a very capable sort of person to be in the gang. If Will didn't deliver her to you, he must have kept her in the gang. And he only keeps people he thinks are capable.
Well, I need an answer. Hang on 1 second. She fiddles her cube and like taps it and calls for Vent.
Vent immediately appears in his face step towards you. Here he is.
Oh, how beautiful he is.
Yes, Aerith. Sorry, that's not his voice. Yes, Aerith.
Have you heard anything about the outside of the orphanage, about when the hags came up?
No, as I always do, stand my post and wait for Will, and to make sure that any troublemakers do not come in.
See. Thank you.
I think the last time we went out, as I don't know, you know our customs. He's talking to Archie and Flopsy, but when we are in winter or summer, we like to walk around and fight, finding children who are in danger. We feel like we should be out of the way and not be seen by them. And we were walking past, there was a very angry dryad. We got attacked by some shrubs, but other than that, nothing much.
Yes, I remember that. Thank you so much, Vent. Okay.
I hope that I've been of some sort of assistance. Then he pisses off.
No.
Well, I need to find Zybilna. I need to figure out what's going on. This orphanage magic is linked to her. And if mine is faded, eventually the rest of it will fade.
Well, in that case, you should come with us. I mean, we're already going to try and find Will, who's probably at Little Oak, Archie says, and looks over to Flopsy, like, asking for reassurance.
Yes, we're on our way to find Will, because realistically, I think we want to stop the hags as well. And if they are the reason why Zybilna has been taken out of power, then maybe we'll all be able to bring Zybilna back.
And maybe Will can tell you that joke.
And meanwhile, over at Clapperclaw in Holland, Clapperclaw is bouncing around, and he's bouncing with such focus, such distracted focus. And he's getting tired. He's bouncing around so much that he's sort of faltering a little bit. He stops for a minute and sort of, like, looks at Holland. And he's like,
Holland? Can you ask everybody to maybe not talk about, you know who, quite a lot as much as they talk about it?
Yeah, well, of course.
It's just that there's a lot of stuff that, I mean, maybe if I tell you, I might stop thinking about it a little bit. I just don't really want to hear about it all the time, you know? Every time it gets mentioned, I feel like I get these memories that come back to me, and I don't really want to see them again.
Yeah, I'm sure. I know they just want what's best, but maybe they haven't realized that it's upsetting you so much. I'll be sure to talk to them.
I mean, I tried to hammer the wheel onto the train. I did. I tried my best.
Wheel onto the train? What do you mean?
I mean, I had a little wooden train, and I had a wheel and a wooden wheel, and I had to put the wooden wheel on the train, and I had to hammer it on, and it kept falling off. And then when I did get it on, it wouldn't spin.
Well, that's not your fault. If everything that went down there wasn't. It's gonna be okay. And he like brings him in for a big hug.
As you're hugging him, he whispers into your ear and he's like, I remember my hands, and I remember my little hands, and they weren't like this. And I just don't remember anything else. I just remember she was shouting at me real bad, and I didn't do it right. My little hands couldn't hit the wheel right. And he just starts crying all over you.
No. I just hold him closer.
And as you holding him, you feel a warmth sort of between both of your like chests as you're hugging him. And for the first time in a while, as you look down, you see your sort of little triangle pendants of Lyra glowing warmly between you both. And he sniffles. And he tries to like wipe at some tears that aren't there because he's so used to the motion of it. Claps himself in the head a little bit and he's like, oh. And he's breathing. He breathes all the crying out. And then he sort of looks at you and he's like, you know, you really are my bestest friend that I've ever had. And maybe one day I'll feel better about all this. Or maybe one day maybe one day I'll feel good again.
You will. I promise you that, and we will still be best friends by the time that day comes. Stole your accent then.
You promise?
I do. He puts out his little pinky and like wraps it around Clapperclaw's like smaller claw.
He hugs you. And that is where we will leave our session tonight.
Aww.
So, thank you very much. Shout out to Cade, who's been with us the whole time.
Hey, Cade of the Glade.
Hey, Cade. And introducing Jason 2.
Jason 2?
Jason 2, a surprise special guest, Jason 2. Jumping in today with brand new Eladrin character Aerith. Yeah, so Jason, would you like to say hello?
Hi, everybody. I hope you're doing well, Cade.
Hey, and Katie, say hello to Katie.
Katie sometimes is. There we go. Yeehaw, says Cade.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yahoo!
All right. Okay.
And also.
Oh God.
So these videos are posted on YouTube. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, Nat Wannabes. And remember, this Easter egg of this session is there once was a young girl
Fucking hell.
who liked to dance in a twirl. she was an Eladrin, and that made me rather sadrin because that girl was my whole world.
I would also like to add my very own Easter egg, which is
Whoa.
lasagna. I hardly know her.
Whoa.
Whoa. All right. Say bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See you, everyone.
Bye.